Barnabas. I am a natural science researcher and a business consultant based in China. And I'm also the president of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, China. I'll be serving as moderator and MC for the first session of today's live event. In this town hall meeting, there'll be two sessions of live events with the 2023 presidential debate as the first live event. So I would use this time to allow us stay still as we listen to the national anthem. Thank you. So I repeat to say that in this town hall meeting, there will be two sessions of live events with the 2023 presidential elections debate as the first live session of events. I'm also pleased to inform you that this town hall meeting is also streaming on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page and also on our YouTube page. You can check it out by clicking on NIDO China. All right, so before we begin, I need to introduce all, I want to introduce to all new viewers joining this program, what NIDO China is all about. NIDO China means Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, China. The main objective of NIDO China is to unite Nigerian professionals in China for the purpose of national building and development. There are over 4,000 Nigerians that are associated with this organization, both in China, Nigeria, and other parts of the world. This organization comprises of business professionals, academic scholars, and professionals from various industries, not limited to medical fields, science and technology, information technology, agriculture, and lots more. Now, the objective of NIDO China to organize this presidential debate, as we're going to have today, is born out of our passion for good governance that we will deliver an efficient growth and development for Nigeria. For now, I will go straight to the main event for today, which is the presidential debate. And I wish to clearly state that we have not received any consent from the presidential candidates, nor from their various parties. Also, we have no form of sponsorship from all these candidates. All we are trying to achieve here today is to share what we know as the verified facts of the presidential candidates. I also wish to state that the individuals that are stepping forward to share about these candidates today are doing it without the consent of the candidates and also out of passion for achieving good governance and allowing Nigerians to equip themselves with the information of the candidate as they make the right decisions to vote come year 2023. So tonight, I'm going to ask the debaters to briefly introduce themselves and the presidential candidates and political party that each of them will stand for. I will start with no particular order. I want to start with Mr. Raf. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chukwuka Raphael. I am in Beijing here. I am a medical microbiologist and I work with Oasis International Hospital. Today, I am standing in for the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raf. Mr. Idu?
Yes, my name is Isiak Idowu. I'm an accountant and an entrepreneur. I am representing the APC presidential candidate, Ashwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. Mr. Obeta? Okay.
Yeah. My name is Mr. Obeta Innocent. I'm a computer scientist. I'm an entrepreneur, a founder of Obex Integrated Services, Shanghai, China, and the founder of izona.com e-commerce platform. Tonight, I will be representing His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi, the Labour Party flag bearer for this upcoming presidential election. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obeta. And lastly, but not the least, Mr. Matthew.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew, Jayola Matthew Ademola, and I reside in China. And I am a doctoral student, doctoral researcher from Harbin Nigerian University, northwest of China. And I'll be here representing our own indefatigable Omo Elesure, the presidential aspirant for African National Congress, AAC.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. And just for those that are just joining us, I wish to also state again once more that these individuals are stepping forward to share about these candidates today. They are doing it without the consent of the candidates and also out of passion for achieving good governance and allowing Nigerians to equip themselves with the information of the candidates that as they make the right decisions to vote. So we should have that in mind. So before moving forward, I just want to say that debaters, all debaters standing as representatives tonight will be given 3 minutes each to respond to questions. I will have to stop you once you exceed the given time. So we'll start the debate straight on. And this first session of debate is going to be about knowing the presidential candidates. So let me start with Mr. Matthew. Please, can you share to this town hall a brief history of the presidential candidates which you are standing for today?
Yes, you see, Omo Elesure is a figure in the society, and of course, a representation of this new generation, this new breed of conscious Nigerian youth. When I was born in February 16, 1971, in a place called Sowore, Niger Delta, the Niger Delta part of Ondo State. And about his academic discipline, academic journey, he Omo Elesure, between the year 1989 to 1995, graduated as Bachelor of Science in Geography and Planning Science from a prestigious University of Lagos. And subsequently, he acquired his master's degree in public admin, that's public administration in Columbia University in the US. Sowore is also very known as the founder of a very popular global online agency, media agency called Sowore Reporters and Sowore TV. And of course, Sowore has been known in recent time as the convener of a popular movement called the Revolutionary Movement the Take It Back movement, we cannot continue like this movement, which so many of the current Nigerian mainstream politicians have also been stealing from a part of this slogan. So Sowore is a figure that is a name, it's an household name, if I may put it at that. Thank you, Sandrito.
Thank you for the very good use of time, Mr. Matthew. Also, Mr. Raf, can you briefly tell us what you know about the presidential candidate whom you are standing for today?
Thank you very much, the moderator. So I am standing in for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was born in 1946 in Jeddah, in Nigeria. That is in Adamawa State. So Abubakar, he went to School of Hygiene in Kano, and he has a diploma in law from Ahmadu Bello University. So he was once the Deputy Comptroller General of Customs in Nigeria. He was once elected the governor of Adamawa State, and he was also the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not just a politician. Before he ventured into politics, he has been into businesses. He has schools. If you know about APC International School, it's a very popular international secondary school. He also has American University of Nigeria, which he founded, a private university that has been preparing a lot of Nigerians for international scholarships and for opportunities to work outside Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar also founded Adama Beverages. Adama Beverages is a company that produces Faro water in Nigeria. You must have heard of it. And he also co-founded Intel's Nigeria Limited. He is a businessman, and before he went into politics, and he is well experienced. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raf, for that brief introduction into sharing knowledge about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Mr. Obeta, can you also share a brief history about the presidential candidate that you're standing for?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi, CON, is a Nigerian, born in Onitsha on the 19th of July, 1961. He is married with 2 children. For his educational background, he started from Christ the King College, Onitsha, for his WAEC, University of Nigeria, Nsukka for his BA in philosophy, Lagos Business School, Chief Executive Program, Harvard Business School, Oxford University for Advanced Management Program, London School of Economics, Financial Management Business Policies, Columbia School, Switzerland, Cambridge, Harvard, you name it. He's been to the best schools around the world. Now, apart from this educational background, he has also held certain positions. He was a governor of Anambra State of Nigeria from 2006 to 2014, special advisor to the president on finance till May 2015, member of presidential economic management team. He was also the vice chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum 2008 to 2014, former chairman, Board of Securities and Exchange Commission, former chairman of Fidelity Bank, and in which he was the youngest chairman of Fidelity Bank, former chairman, Guardian Express Mortgage Bank, former chairman, Future View Security Limited, and former chairman, Paymaster Nigeria Limited, former chairman, Next International Nigeria Limited, Guardian Express Bank Limited, also the chairman, Charles Nigeria Limited, and many more like that. So His Excellency is a man who has conquered it all, from the academics to business to management. His Excellency Peter Obi is a successful businessman, an honest, disciplined politician whose core interest in politics is simply for humanity. He is currently standing in for Labour Party as the candidate for the president of Nigeria in 2023 presidential election. Thank you. Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Moderator, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you very much for that presentation. Thank you for this first session. All the presenters have done very well. And I think if you continue at this rate, you will save a lot of good time this evening. We'll move on to the next session. And in this next session, I'm going to be engaging these representatives about the reasons why these candidates are coming out. I want to start with Mr. Raf. Mr. Raf representing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. As you have said in your brief history, yes?
You are here. I'm here to speak on behalf of Ashwaji Bola Tinubu.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm very sorry about that. I without any intention to do that. Mr. Idowu, the members of this town hall meeting want to know more about the presidential candidate that you're standing for today. Sorry about that.
Okay, Ashwaji Bola Tinubu was born on the 29th of March, 1952. He is actually a special gift to the world. He was born in Lagos and he had his early education here in Lagos at Aroloya. He thereafter went to children's home school in Ibadan. He traveled to the United States in 1975 to further his education. He actually got enrolled and attended Richard Daley College there in Chicago. Thereafter, he moved to Chicago University and graduated in 1979 with a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. Tinubu was a very brilliant student. He maintained his position as the best student from the beginning of the academic year on to the end. His excellent performance earned him a scholarship and also qualified him to tutor in the accounting department. Tinubu, as an exceptionally brilliant student, graduated as the best student in his class. As the best student, he was eligible for several job offers in different accounting firms in the United States. He joined Deloitte eventually. After a successful career in Deloitte, he went on to work with General Telephone and Electronics, GTE. He left GTE for Mobile International. Tinubu in 1983, he relocated back to Nigeria and resumed work with Mobile Nigeria, where he started off as an auditor. He later rose to become Mobile Nigeria's treasurer. Tinubu spearheaded the construction of Mobile Nigeria House in Ikoyi, in Victoria Land. Tinubu's political journey started in 1992. He joined the SDP and later he was elected as a senator in 1983 to represent Lagos West.
You have less than a minute, please.
Tinubu, with his passion for politics and the annulment of June 12, 1993 election, which he actually partook, he left Nigeria to form NADECO with other like minds. Bola Tinubu, as he was after the annulment of June 12, and when democracy actually came back, Tinubu contested and won election as the governor of Lagos State in 1999 up to 2007. Tinubu is not only a passionate Nigerian, he is a special gift to Nigeria and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. And I want to apologize once more for not following up in that order to call on you when I needed to call on you earlier on. So going on to the next session, Mr. Raf, representing Atiku, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. As you have said in your brief introduction about Atiku Abubakar, that he has served as Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria before. And of course, this is public knowledge. Please, can you tell Nigerians why Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is contesting to be president of Nigeria?
Oh, thank you very much, the moderator. So, like I said before, Atiku Abubakar was a very experienced politician. During his time as a vice president, he led the economic team that was able to move the Nigerian's economy forward. There was tremendous growth in the Nigerian economy when he was the vice president and the leader of the economic team. He, with the then president, Olusegun Obasanjo, were able to go around Nigeria and find professionals both outside and inside Nigeria. They found professionals, talented Nigeria, people that are working in big corporations in the world. And they brought them back to Nigeria and they served and they revitalized the economy of Nigeria. So as we all know today, the unity of Nigeria has been fractured. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is coming back again to restore Nigeria's fractured unity. We call him a unifier. He's also coming to rebuild the nation's battered economy. Okay, the situation of insecurity, the insecurity we have in Nigeria is already very clear to everybody that this particular government don't know what to do about it. During the time of Atiku Abubakar as the vice president of Nigeria, we never had this level of insecurity. And everybody was going about doing their businesses with peace of mind. But this is not what it is today. So that is why Atiku has decided to come back again to restore peace and security in Nigeria. He has a vision to foster a united Nigeria in which citizens can live and be happy, be healthy. Okay, and he's also coming. We know about his issues with education, how he worked so hard to be educated, no matter all the hindrances he had, and the education benefited him, which is why when he had the opportunity, he established schools, both secondary schools and university, international ones for that matter. So he's also coming to revitalize our education system. I think I'm going to stop here for the moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Raf. And viewers joining us, you can see that the debate is getting more and more interesting. And I want to remind you that this debate is being aired on our Facebook page and also on our Instagram page along with our YouTube page. You can go in and click on NIDO China. We'll continue. Mr. Matthew, we understand the presidential candidate that you're standing for has vied to become president of Nigeria in the past election. Please, can you tell us why he's contesting again to become president of Nigeria by 2023?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And I think it's audible to the deaf and very clear to the blind that Nigeria is not a country we could be proud of. We've been on this valley of retrogression, this valley of lack of progress in every sector for 60 years, which means that those people with big pockets who are been masturbating, the corridor of politics in this country in the last decades have done nothing. And therefore there's a need for a paradigm shift in leadership. And that is why when a very radically conscious individual like Sowore emerged in 2019, the noise was everywhere. Even in the US, in Europe, everybody knows this guy with that strong antecedent of combating, even during the military eras and also the political thieves in the system is back. And that's why, it started with the slogan revolution, which means Nigeria needs to be revolutionized. And it has to be done by somebody who has the quality that Sowore has. Somebody who has never slept, who has never died with the current oppressors of the system. Somebody who has an antecedent of combating the system for 30 years consistently. without shifting ground. Somebody of his charisma who has no alliance with the same oppressors that has been, how do you call it? People have been coming up and are backing down for years. So this is the reason why Sowore, and as an activist, as so many people keep saying that he's good as an activist. You cannot be off the shore and think of effecting any change without being in the system. So there's a need for somebody, a commander-in-chief of forces of Nigeria, who has the character just as Sowore has. And this is just the real overview of why somebody like Sowore is contesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. I'll move over to, without delay, to Mr. Idowu. Can you tell us why the presidential candidate that you're standing for is contesting to become Nigeria's next president?
Thank you very much. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as we all know, is a tested and trusted public administrator. He is a brilliant administrator with solid background about public finance. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a non-tribal Nigerian with an unprecedented passion for a united and progressive Nigeria. Tinubu, these very critical domestic and global economic challenges will require an economic engineer like Tinubu to lead us. Tinubu is a thinker. Asiwaju is a doer and a brilliant economic planner who thinks outside the box. He is a fighter, is a fisher. Asiwaju is a fisher of exceptionally good men and women from all walks of life. He demonstrated this while he was the governor of Lagos State for 8 years. He assembled the best team in Nigeria. He is the right man to take Nigeria out of the wood presently to that country of our dreams, a Nigeria that is also and the pride of all. With Tinubu, Nigeria will return us again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. Without delay, Mr. Obeta, please can you tell us why the presidential candidate that you're standing for is contesting to become the next president of Nigeria?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. With the risk of sounding meritorious with my colleagues, with all due respect, I would like to remind Nigerians that we are talking about the leader of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Over 200 million people, the largest nation in Africa, the largest economy in Africa. We're talking about somebody who we need at this moment. We're talking of a country that has been in dwindling position for over some years now. Now we're looking at people who have presented themselves to lead Nigeria out of the situation. One thing we have in common, all the debaters here, all the candidates that are vying for this office, they have in common is that Nigeria is not what it's supposed to be. Now, talking about rhetorics, promises, this is not the first time Nigeria has seen politicians who make promises. The current Nigerian president made the best promises ever made before he ascended to the power. So the question now is no longer what you are going to do, but what have you done that suggests that you're going to do that? Now we are looking at His Excellency Peter Obi as a candidate under Labour Party. What has he done? As a governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi won over 16 awards. And mind you, viewers, what I want you to do is that whatever we talk about today, about our candidate today, you go and verify, because whatever we say are verifiable. So if you talk about academics, Peter Obi has gone to the best schools. If you talk about leadership, he has led almost 20-something institutions in Nigeria. Peter Obi was the first governor, while he was still serving, was also appointed as an economic team in the federal. Now, if you look at awards in Nigeria, in 2015, Peter Obi won Golden Jubilee Award. In 2014, Nigeria Library Award in Education, Champions Newspaper Award, Voice of Nigeria Award. I mean, more than 16 awards for His Excellency. And now, The most important thing here, we need to know that what's the problem Nigeria has? Every Nigerian problem borders to the economy. And what is our problem? The Nigerian economy is not about making the money. It's about saving the money. It's about managing the money well. What P2B has proven to be the best in the whole of Africa have ever seen is his prudence in public fund management. As a governor of Anambra State, by the time he was coming, Anambra State was owing about 30-something billion. By the time he left about $500 million equivalent in different currencies. P2B left about $156 million in equity bond. So we are talking about somebody who have proven to be prudent in public management. We are talking about somebody who have passion for
you have less than a minute. Sorry, you have less than a minute now.
Good. We are talking about people who have a way to relate with the people. And the result is before us here. There's no other politician in Nigerian history have ever united Nigerians the way P2B has united Nigerians. The youths are bearing the brunt, and the youth have circled around him and say, we are going with you where you're going. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, debaters. And I want to, before we move to the next critical part of the debates of the program this evening, I just want to allow viewers to understand that members of NIDO China, which is Nigerians in Diaspora Organization China, are passionate about the growth and development of Nigeria. And over the years, we have actively engaged in high-profile international trades and technology transfer between China and Nigeria. We believe our roles to development of the Nigerian economy is very tangible, which makes our contributions to national building highly rated. We believe the choice of the right leaders for the 2023 elections is necessary to rescue the following key challenges. Number one is insecurity. Number two, poor economy. Number three, effective national healthcare delivery system. Number four is quality education. And lastly, but not the least, unemployment. Now, the NIDO China mock debate as it's going, is going to be the start of the series of town hall meeting engagements that we plan to organize before the 2023 general elections. Our focus is all about relating fact-finding information about the candidates vying for the various elective positions. We hope some of the candidates will be willing to join our town hall meetings on invitation before the elections proper. So that being said, I want to, we'll go into the next session, the next session, which is we're going to be engaging these representatives on the five key points that we hold and we feel is very important for our national growth. And we'll start with Mr. Matthew. I want to start this session with Mr. Matthew. Please, can you tell Nigerians what you believe are the expected reforms that the presidential candidacy of Mr. Omoyele Sowore will bring in the area of quality education system for Nigerians?
Yes, once again, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Of course, it is no more news that our education, in fact, virtually all sectors of this country, be it education, be it health, is in a state of comatose, and it's nothing to write home about. So Sowore has been seen consistently, via different media platforms, talking about his agendas for the education sector. And part of it, which is very cogent, is that he's going to introduce policies, just as we have in China, in advanced countries, in US, in Europe, and others, where Nigerian youths will be able to self-sponsor themselves, and by what means? By number one, having access to at least 100,000 per section for as a form of scholarship, and also so many schools. I think it is hard to ever see any schools in any university in Nigerian institution where there is what we call the work study program. So these are some of those things Sowore has been very critical about, talking and expatiating more on. So another thing that is so cogent is that we could see that our education is seriously underfunded, and it is because we just have this the system, the system of that country in terms of the education, in terms of the health is not well really catered for. So he has once been seen, being affirmative about declaring state of emergency in sectors like the health sector, the security, and of course the education sector. You can see that, as we've been on strike for 1 year and all of these things, and of course, as we all know, Sowore has always been part of those people giving solidarity to. So Sowore knows the value of education. He knows that our education needs to be revamped, and he has a whole lot of agenda. In fact, just as I shared his manifesto on the NIDO group yesterday, there are about 9-point agenda that he had alone for both education and the health sector. Thank you, Sowore.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew, for that touch on Sowore. Now, Mr. Idowu, your presidential candidate is vying to become the president of Nigeria for record first time. Please, can you tell Nigerians the expected reforms that Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will bring in the area of improved, effective national healthcare delivery and quality educational system for Nigerians?
Thank you very much. On education, actually Bola Ahmed Tinubu will increase the spending on education to 20% of the nation's budget from a present low of 5.6%, which is a far cry from the 20% global benchmark. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will also continue the free school feeding millions of children across the country. The Universal Basic Education Program will be sustained to ensure that every child enjoys basic and qualitative education from foundation level on the secondary education level. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a brilliant student that he is, his administration will be channeling more on technical issues to guarantee sustainable station employment and growth of the small and medium scale business in Nigeria. On tertiary education, Tinubu's administration will eradicate stress by university workers, encouraging the university to source for funds through grants and corporate sponsorship, and all the institutions granted financial autonomy to raise funds to sustain the institution. An educated generation is the bedrock for social, economic, political growth of the nation. Tinubu is prepared, Tinubu is ready, and he will deliver on his promise on education, and Nigeria will be great again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. So I'll move to Mr. Raf. Your presidential candidate is vying to become president for Nigeria for the second time in a row. Please, can you also tell Nigerians the expected reforms that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will bring in the area of improved quality educational system for Nigerians?
Thank you very much, the moderator. So, like I've always said, I don't believe somebody can give what he doesn't have. Atiku Abubakar is someone, when it comes to education, he has, when he was younger, he had some trouble being allowed to have Western education. But by the end of the day, he worked hard and he was able to have good education. And because of that, he wanted to give kids the opportunity to also have good education. That's why he established schools on his own. It's not like he went and used government money to do it. No, he established schools on his own, and he is running the schools, and the schools are still working up till today. So the person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not somebody that will play with education. He is somebody that knows and understands the value of education. This alone is already one good example that will make you to know that he will not play with education. I don't believe in somebody I mean, somebody that has never, in your 8 years of being in office, or maybe in your whole life, you have never been to any school, you have never tried to do anything to help people to have better education. And you come up Sunday and you just tell me that you just like a magic wand, you are going to start getting interested in education. It doesn't work that way. Or if we, I mean, Atiku Abubakar went to school, and we know he went to school. There's no doubt about that. Everything he has is pure and genuine. All the results that we have about him is there, his age, everything. So he is the same person that will come and will take these things serious. So I'm not going to start talking about that for a very long time, because he has schools already. He has invested in it already, even before he went into politics. And he's still taking education very serious. So when he comes, I believe he will try and put out ways for Nigerians to have access to good education and to improve our youths. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raf. Lastly, but not the least here on this session, Mr. Obeta, your presidential candidate is vying to become the president of Nigeria for the first time. Please, can you tell Nigerians the expected reforms that Mr. Peter Obi will bring in the area of improved, effective national healthcare delivery and quality educational system for Nigerians?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You see, my candidate, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, if he was a man existed in 2,000 years ago, he would have been David. Because for a Nigerian, any Nigerian who has ever knelt down to pray for God to help Nigeria to come out of the situation we are into, Peter Obi is prayer answered. You don't begin to talk about a man, whether he can or cannot, or whether he has interest or not, when the man has done it to the point where he have lots of awards for that. Let me take you back to 2009. The Champion newspaper awarded Mr. Peter Obi the award of Governor of the Year. In 2010, ICT Governor of the Year by the West African ICT Development Award. ICT is a business of the youth. Nigeria is a youthful nation yearning for mere assistance for them to explore what God has given to them. As I said earlier, the problem of this country called Nigeria is not money. We have the money. The problem is that the money is being put in a basket, a perforated basket that as you're pouring it is going away. What P2B is bringing in there to reform the health and educational system is prudence in management. He is not telling you he's going to do what he has not done. He has done that in Anambra State as a governor. With all the obstacles that everybody knew about, I may speak about that if I have the time, but P2B came to Anambra State when Anambra State was 26th out of 36 states. There were 26 in WAEC position. But within a few years, he took Anambra State to first position in WAEC for 3 consecutive years. We are talking of a man who came to a state when there's no health institution that is duly accredited. But by the time he was leaving, he had about 6 or more than 6 accredited health institutions. We are talking of a man who met somebody he never knew, a heart surgeon he never knew. What would you need to come and do it in Anambra? He said, equipment. He said, name your price. And he offered a check. So we are talking of a person who has done, and whatever I'm telling you here, whatever all of my colleagues want to say here, the only thing I can tell you that we're talking of a man who will ask you to go and verify. Whatever he says is verifiable. His education, where he's born, when he was born, are all verifiable. I'm not talking of a man who was poor and went into government, become rich and build whatever he built. I'm talking of a man who was rich before he came to the government. So he's not talking about something he has already built. He's talking about helping the poor masses become good. This is the man I'm presenting to you, Nigerians. Thank you.
Thank you, debaters, for that session. Before we continue, I wish to clearly state here that we have not received any consent from the presidential candidates nor from their various parties. Also, we have no form of sponsorship from any of these candidates. All we are trying to achieve here today is to share what we know as the verified facts for the presidential candidates. I wish to also state that the individuals that have stepped forward to share about these candidates today, as you've heard already, are doing it without the consent of the candidates, also out of passion for achieving good governance and allowing Nigerians to equip themselves with information of the candidates as they make the right decisions to vote. So that being said, I also want to remind viewers that joining us, this is Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, China Town Hall, and having a presidential debate. And this same program is being streaming live on Facebook and also on our YouTube page and also on our Instagram page. You can go and check NIDO China. Thank you. We'll move on to the next section. Let me start with Mr. Ido. Mr. Ido, what should Nigerians expect from the candidacy of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu for fixing the challenges of insecurity and economy in Nigeria?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. The security challenges facing Nigeria presently is not beyond redemption. It's not beyond redemption. Tinubu Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an experienced public administrator, and with him, he will improve security by decentralizing the policing of the country and creating hundreds of thousands of new jobs simultaneously. The policing system is presently centralized, and with Tinubu, he will decentralize the police, the security architecture, particularly the Nigerian police, will be decentralized. The armed forces and the police, they lack adequate manpower to face our current security challenges. Tinubu, as president of Nigeria, additional new jobs by employing more Nigerians to join the armed forces and the police. As former governor of Lagos State, he pioneered the Special Security Squad that we call RRS to tackle the security challenges of a state with a very high population. As president, Tinubu will tackle head-on the security challenges of Nigeria. What we have presently are more phases of security challenges, from terrorism, banditry, to kidnapping. With actually, security issues are not something to be discussed openly in a public gathering, but Tinubu has the wider and a well-structured plan to tackle this problem when it becomes the president, and it should be entrusted, and he will do it well to the admission of Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ido. I just want to also help the debaters to say that in our focus as NIDO China, we believe that insecurity is interwoven with economy. And we also believe that if you have a good security system, we believe that our insecurity of the country Nigeria has adversely affected our economy. And that is why we're building this session to understand what the candidates have in their views about tackling insecurity and economy. And I'm sure, Mr. Ido, I must apologize that I did not bring it out to you as I in this explanation from the beginning, but you've given a very good direction about insecurity. But let me redirect to you and say, what is your candidacy of Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu? What is the candidacy bringing to fix the challenges of economy of Nigeria? I'll give you 1 minute for that.
Well, the economy is a bigger pie than the security issue. The economy under Tinubu, Tinubu will build an economy that will make the nation's gross development product group annually for the next 4 years, while also providing jobs for millions of youth in the country. It will launch a national industrial policy focused on special intervention to regulate specific strategic industries like the Nigerian textile industries that employ hundreds of thousands of people. Tinubu will focus on stimulating jobs, which will even be his top priority as president. He will get Nigeria to work by launching a public works program. Tinubu, as an economist, he will make sure that we have significant investment infrastructure that will drive the economy, that we add value to our manufacturing and agricultural sector. It will build an efficient, fast and growing as well as a diversified economy that will be a pride to all of us. Our real GDP, we have raised about 4% annually for the next 4 years of administration, translating into millions of new jobs during this period. If you allow me one more minute.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu.
All right.
Yeah. And let me go straight to Mr. Raf. Because of this interjection, I'm going to give you all additional 1 minute, just like I've given to Mr. Idowu. Mr. Raf, there has been a lot of reports of insecurity, of course, as we know in Nigeria. We wish to know also what Nigerians will expect from the candidacy of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to fix this insecurity and economy in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, the moderator. So I would say that, okay, the last time Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he categorically said that the insecurity situation in Nigeria is politicized. And he rightly mentioned that you will find out that coming towards the time of the election, that the insecurity will get under control, which means that it has been politicized. It's happening when people know how to handle it, but nobody is doing anything about it. He said, he promised that the police will be, that will have state police, but he insisted that this insecurity that is happening now can easily be solved by the federal government. So it's all about political willingness. Okay, it's all about the will to do that. So, and Atiku has promised, just like when he was vice president, we didn't have this issue. And he said he's going to make sure that we don't have this issue anymore. Now, when he decentralizes police, every governor will take care of their security. This way, everybody will be held accountable. Local government chairmen should also take care of security in their local governments. If we have issue of insecurity, we will know who to go and hold accountable. So Atiku Abubakar also, just like you mentioned, when there is no security, economy will have issues. I think Atiku Abubakar, you all know, he worked with the best economic team that had ever managed Nigeria, and he's going to do it again. And another thing about him is that he's not the kind of person that will come and start taxing Nigerians. They don't care whether you are making more money or not. We just want to tax you to pay more money. Atiku Abubakar is not going to do that. He's going to provide an enabling environment for Nigerians to do business, to make more money, because when they make more money, they pay more tax and the country gets richer. And everybody will be happy. But the situation when you are not making more and somebody is expanding the taxing scope or increasing the tax so that people will be crying in their houses every day, this is bad government. And Atiku has said that he's never gonna do that. So he is someone who has a plan. And the reason why, just like I said when I started, the reason why he has this plan is because he has been in this system. He understands the system. And that is why he's coming up with this good plan. I don't want to exceed my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raf. Mr. Obeta, what should Nigerians also expect from the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi for fixing these challenges of insecurity and the economy in Nigeria?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for calling on me again. As I always say, it's not about what I will, but what I have done to show what I'm coming with. His Excellency Peter Obi is a man of proven integrity, a public fund manager. So when you talk about insecurity, I hear my colleagues say security, if you secure, then economy will be right. But I beg to differ a bit. If you build your economy, if the people are well fed, if the people are engaged in something, if the children are in the school, if the youths are doing something that are happy with, who are the criminals? Are they not the people? Now, the problem of Nigeria is economy. The second problem is economy, and the third problem is economy. I can put corruption, which is part of the problem, to a distant four. Why? Because it is because people are not keeping what we are making. That's why we have a problem. The corruption you see today is because the government of the day is not prudent. They are not managers, they are squanderers. Peter Obi is coming to do the same thing he has done in Anambra State, and everybody can go and testify. In terms of education, I have told you, Peter Obi came when Anambra State was 6th out of 36. He left there when Anambra State was consistently first. I've told you what he did in health, and I'm telling you, in security, Peter Obi delivered 177 vehicles to entire 177 counties in Anambra State. He merged the police, the paramilitary, and the vigilantes, and they formed a formidable security. Peter Obi is man of the youth, and the youths will secure you more than the military. And let me tell you something. The Nigerian population ratio to police is 1 to 400. So the way we are is that one policeman has to take care of 400 Nigerians. When a population of 1.4 billion people in China has a ratio of one police to 143. So you look at the problems, and people leave problems to talk rhetoric. Peter Obi is a practical person. If you look at his individual personality, he's a simple man. He is rich, but does not live like a rich man. He lives like you and I because he feels the pain. He is a man, when he encounters a problem, he goes back to study it. The only man today standing for the Nigerian presidency who has gone to many countries trying to understand what works for them, and he wants to bring it here to make sure that it works for us. Before he went into business, he went to different schools, the best schools in the world, to acquire knowledge. He came back. Each step he goes back to study. Now he wants to be the president. He's not going back to Harvard School anymore. He's going back to study nations, how they emerge and become formidable. Our power, our economic management, our security, these are the things he's studying. If you want to know the people of the man, if you want to know a good manager, it's what the staffs, the people that works under him do when he's not there. In his absence, the Nigerian youths are working tirelessly, fighting together, shouting his name because they want him. Who can do it in Nigeria? It's the person who earns the trust of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Obeta. Quickly, I want to go to Mr. Matthew. In same vein, what should Nigerians expect from the candidacy of Mr. Omoleye Sowore for fixing the challenges of insecurity and economy in Nigeria?
Yes, Mr. President, moderator. So, we must also not fail to say something, and be very affirmative about it. That, of course, when we have in a forum where we have about 57 Nigerians in attendance, we have to let them get awakened and not be bamboozled by some of these rhetorics. You see, the issue of economy has always been a center of discussion for years by this same set of people who come up every 4 or 8 years to tell us this is what they are going to do, this is what they are not going to do. And of course, for what can we show for that? But you see, as revolutionary as Sowore has taken it to be, he has been very emphatic about that. He's going to turn Nigeria to a construction site. You see, we can take example from what we see in China here. Even standard structure, you see Chinese every time, trying to deploy workers, deploy their citizens, because the drivers of economy are the masses. But in our own case, we have repeated cases where somebody will take 83 billion, keep it in his own account. But Chinese will allow that 83 billion move among drivers of economy. The people who buy honey, the people who pay their children's school fees and all of these things. And the best way to do this is to get them involved, get them engaged. You see that naturally the economy will thrive. And this has been some of the revolutionary ideas that Sowore has been talking about. Nigeria lacks infrastructure. So that's an avenue to create jobs. That's an avenue to drive the economy. So it has been very emphatic that we're going to turn Nigeria into a construction site in terms of road and a whole lot of infrastructure. And you will see that spontaneously every other thing will fall in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew. I want to commend all the debaters for the use of your time. I think so far you've used your time very well. And we are beginning to get, we've passed the middle of the debate and we begin to go to other issues, but we're still on these 5 points challenges that we raised. I want to start with Mr. Obeta concerning the unemployment of Nigerians. We know that Nigerians we have lots of youths that are unemployed today, and the numbers are growing, especially with the post-epidemic and of course with the downpour of the economy. So, Mr. Obeta, what will the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi bring to resolving the increasing challenges of youth and unemployment in Nigeria?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for calling on me. Yes, as I always say, if you want to know if you can guess or you want to imagine what I could be tomorrow, look at me today and check about me of yesterday. His Excellency, Peter Obi, I told you earlier, has won an award in 2010 as an ICT Governor of the Year. This shows you what the man is bringing to the table. The man is for the youth, and the heart of every nation's economy rests on the shoulders of the youth. This is a man who has done everything, almost everything right in Anambra State. And this is a man, since he left, he continually learned and upgrade himself. Now, Peter Obi, in one of his speeches, he said that when he looked at the vast land in the north, he see another oil. You see, if you can go and stop oil sale in Nigeria today and give it to Peter Obi will build you a Singapore or build you another China in terms of economy. So what we're talking about here is a man who has been tested and trusted. Is a man that embodies hope for Nigerians. And again, let me tell you something. No matter how much good plan you have, you need the people to execute those plans. The problem with Nigeria is that Nigerian people have lost hope. They've lost trust in our leadership because successive leaders disappointed them. But for the first time in history, for the first time ever, we see a man that people can reason with. You see a man who speaks to you. You see a man who is talking to you, who is showing you in every aspect of life, his simplicity, transparency, articulate, visionary leader. So what he will do for Nigeria economy is very simple. He is going to stop the leakage in corruption, the leakage of wastefulness of our government, which he did in Anambra State. He will cut down on expenditures. He will use the money to build institutions. He will use the money to build factories. He will use the money to equip youths that he has done before. He is a builder of economy. He's a builder of people. He's a manager of money, manager of people. So with Peter Obi, you can be rest assured that Nigeria will be great again. What he has come to do is to get the country back from those who have held it for many years and give it back to the people. And the people can breathe. The people can be happy to say, this is my country. We are looking for a man, and we've been praying, and today God has answered our prayer and gave us a man who wants to be with us, who wants to walk with us through the pain.
You have less than a minute, please.
Thank you. So what to expect from P2B is what you have seen him do in Anambra State, is what you have seen him done in banks, in banking industry, is what we have seen him done in many businesses. He is going to revitalize Nigerian economy and equip Nigeria to be able to fly again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Beta. To Mr. Raf, you have constantly identified Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as the unifier. Please, can you share what you believe his presidential candidacy will bring to solving the increasing challenges of youth unemployment in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. The problem of unemployment is the problem that has, brought a lot of problem for Nigerians, because it is some of the insecurity problems we are having today in Nigeria is because of unemployment. Okay, now we know that the reason why the power grabbers who have been messing us up for 7 years, because since after they grabbed power, they've not been able to do anything. They've just been nosediving the economy for 7 years. The reason why we are not able to do anything is because they didn't have plans, okay, before they came in. But Atiku Abubakar has said, he has said it a lot of times, that he's going to look into land ownership in Nigeria so that we will make farming, lands accessible to farmers. Okay, we have vast area of land in Nigeria that are not being used. Actually, we could feed a lot of countries if we can farm properly, if we can introduce mechanized farming. But a lot of people don't have access to this, okay? So Atiku already have plans. If you go to his Twitter account, you will see his plans for agriculture in Nigeria. And he wants us to create employment. He's not telling us that he's going to start building infrastructure with money that will fall from heaven, because nobody can come and be promising you that he's going to build infrastructure when you don't have shishi. Okay? So he's going to get people into farming so that we produce what we can sell. Okay? When we sell, we make foreign exchange. Okay? And he's going to provide employment. There is no way the government of Nigeria can start employing all the youths in Nigeria all of a sudden. It's impossible. But when we provide the enabling environment for the youths to have something to do with their hands, they will start employing themselves. Even the ones in the diaspora can come back home and they invest in Nigeria, and we start producing something which we can sell, and we become rich. The idea of a good economy is for people to have something they can rely on. And this is one of the things that Atiku Abubakar will do for us. Before he went into government, he had a lot of companies. I already mentioned it earlier. I don't want to start repeating myself. And he has been managing these companies up till today. And most of them are still standing, okay? So that is to tell you that he is a good businessman, okay? So if you are a good businessman—
You have less than a minute.
Thank you very much. If you are a proper businessman, you can manage something small, then we can give you something big. But if you have not even been able to manage something small, you are just cursing people, saying all sorts of things, we can't really trust you with something as big as Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ram. So over to Mr. Ido. What will Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who many youths have accused to be too old in age, what do you believe his presidential candidacy will bring to solving the increasing challenges of youth and unemployment in Nigeria?
Yes, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 70 years, cannot be classified to be too old to govern Nigeria. The other candidate, Sowore, is in his early 50s. So I guess there's one other aspirant that is around 46, 47 years old. So that's the only person I can classify to be in the youth range. On unemployment issue, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that the important tool of growing the economy that will propel employment is to diversify our source of, and that is why part of his economic plan is to give 20% of the annual budget to education, 10% of the annual budget to the health sector. He's equally planning to introduce the Commodity Exchange Board to galvanize massive agricultural growth in the country. Agriculture can give us, can take care of almost 40% of our current unemployment needs. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his efforts to bring down unemployment, he will also take bold decision that total deregulation of oil markets and building of national storage to sustain supply, so that whenever we have shortages, we will always have reserve bank to fall back on. It will also stimulate and manufacturing will create massive jobs when the economy is growing. The target of Bola Ahmed is to generate 15,000 megawatts of electricity and distribute same, which will stimulate the economy and create millions of jobs. The problem we are having is not only the economy is the one that is propelling unemployment and is prepared to face the economic challenges head on. As Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we focus on infrastructure with a theme of build a new Nigeria, which he calls BANN, by developing a national infrastructure plan, which will ultimately create millions of jobs. Tackling unemployment is not just by what do you call it? It's not theoretical, and it does not require motivational speakers. It requires an economic engineer, and Tinubu happens to fall in that category. So we also focus on the oil. Yes, it will also focus on oil and gas, whereby supplies will come from local refineries. And I'm assuring you, by the second or third quarter of next year, Nigeria will stop importing fuel. By that, the economy will be galvanized, unemployment will reduce, and the economy will improve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. Lastly but not the least, Mr. Matthew, what will Mr. Omoleye Sowore, who has most times identified himself as a youth, what will his presidency, a presidential candidacy, bring to solving the increasing challenges of youth and unemployment in Nigeria?
Yes, President. You see, it's so interesting that you yourself, and that's the way it is. As everybody knows, Sowore, in fact, on Twitter, they call him the consciousness of the Nigerian youth. So, which means that, we have the entire party, the entire template for emancipating the youth of this country, who is more than 60% of the entire over 200 million population of this country. And some of those things Sowore has consistently highlighted is that, of course, I make mention of how we can engage youth, not just even the youth, but a whole lot of Nigerians, by turning Nigeria to a construction site. And that's just one of it. The another thing is that Nigerian youth is one of the most stressed. If we are to be sincere in terms of intellect, Nigerian youths are making way globally. In the US, you see, in their institutions and all of those things. And which means that we have a percentage of Nigerian youths who can drive innovation in this country. And so if we have a youth-oriented president who also understands that, whose body language has been clearly saying to build a system, to intend to build a system that is completely 100% pro-Nigerian youth, 100% pro-Nigerian masses. So one of those things is to introduce introduce special packages for startups. See a lot of Nigerians to talk about, some of these startups. And now we have a lot of startups that were started by Nigerians that have employed a whole lot of Nigerians, and even some have been bought by some of these, Western philanthropy. So these are some of the packages that are there in that manifesto that I shared yesterday. Another thing is that especially Nigerian youth needs to be engaged politically. You see, there is nothing that is going to happen in this country without proper the proper orientation, which of course has to precede the engagement, the political involvement engagement that we have in this country. And some of those, and that is why we also need to mention that those things, the primary problem that we have in this country is lack of political will. And it's because we have a system that has been carved in such a way that it's only feed just a few 5% of the aristocratic wings. The same people who are emanating the mainstream political party. So what we are saying is that we need to engage the youth. The youth knows the needs of a fellow youth. When we engage the youth with the right, youth with the right political orientation, then there will be a lot of ideas that will pop up in questioning the threat of youth unemployment. We have to be very emphatic, we have to be critical about that. And some of these things are well and explicitly explained in Sowore's manifesto.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew. Have a little technical problem with my lights here. But let's move on. I just want to remind viewers joining us that and the town hall that we'll be having another session after this debate, which is going to be a panel discussion of and the topic is potentials of Nigerians in diaspora, and also how we could and the development that they stand to give to Nigeria. That will be coming up after the debate. But that being said, we'll go into the session of explaining the foreign policies of the candidates here, of the candidates, presidential candidates. And I want to start with Mr. Idowu. We understand that Mr. Ahmed Bola Tinubu has been a diasporan based in the US before. Can you share with us what you believe Nigerians should expect in his foreign policy and plan, and what should Nigerians living in China expect from his presidential candidacy? Mr. Idowu. Mr. Idowu, you're on mute. Okay.
Yes, under the administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will ensure that the administration the current bilateral between all nations, and particularly China. The government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as governor of Lagos State, championed the introduction of various Chinese construction companies who are today major players in roads, railway, and other infrastructure constructions across Nigeria. It will be surely more beyond present good relationship to a much better mutual relationship that will be beneficial to both countries. China, as a country, is an important in our current infrastructure in the area of roads, railways, and power. Bola Ahmed is an experienced public administrator go extra miles to further strengthen our bilateral relationship with all countries, particularly China, that has become a very supportive nation in the last 7 years. And I'm very sure that it will become a most important relationship that we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu. I'll move to Mr. Obeta. We understand Mr. Peter Obi has been involved in international trade before. Please, can you share with us what you believe his foreign policy will be concerning China, the China-Nigeria international trade, and what should Nigerians living in China expect from his presidential candidacy?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You see, there's one fundamental thing that people always overlook when you talk about management. When you talk about management or leadership, the most important thing that a leader must imbibe within himself is trust. You need to earn the trust of the people that you manage. Once you earn their trust, you can go to bed because you can be rest assured they are going to deliver. You see, Peter Obi's exemplary governorship in Anambra State brought a lot of good things in Anambra State. Before Peter Obi, no foreign mission has sent either the ambassador or something to Anambra State. In fact, in his own words, he said Anambra State was like a pariah state, that no foreign institution wants to do business with them. But under Peter Obi, almost all the ambassadors of all the notable nations visited Anambra State. The US, the Britain, the French, all of them came, and they all were just looking for a way to do business with Anambra State. The UNICEF did a lot of things with Anambra State and even gave him an award. The same thing with World Bank. And let me tell us something. Peter Obi was a diasporan as well. Peter Obi spent about 10 years in UK. Now, we are in diaspora. We know the way we are perceived. A Black man is already condemned a criminal before even being accused. That is one thing nobody can dispute this. It doesn't matter where you are. Now, you will begin to imagine how well did this man, Peter Obi, put himself in the system that he gained the trust of the UK banks that started giving him loan. What most people do not know is that majority of Peter Obi's business were built with UK bank loans. And he has maintained that prudence. Then today, the companies are following him back home. Pep Miller is the second largest breweries in the world. Peter Obi brought it to Anambra State and invested Anambra State wealth in it. Today, in the past 10 days or so, or maybe let's say 2 weeks, Peter Obi has visited more than 5 to 6 countries, having about 5 town hall meetings with Nigerians. Myself included, a lot of Nigerians in diaspora are telling you today that if Peter Obi wins, they are packing their bag, they're going home. A lot of Western companies and Asian companies are juggling. You know why? Because of the trust they have seen that his people put on him, and because of the lifestyle they have seen him. You know, one thing that happens is this: when you as a leader is reckless, when your character is not something that anybody want to identify with, the other people will treat your people with the same way, with the same eye they view. The problem with Nigeria is that our system is so corrupt and so bad, so nobody trusts our system. Therefore, we the people suffer. But a Peter Obi is a person that every nation wants to do something with. So bringing it back to China, Peter Obi,
you have less than a minute.
Peter Obi has been a trader. He was a trader before he went into industries and the banking. Peter Obi has been doing business even with the same China. So Peter Obi is going to sit down and negotiate with you as equal partners. Therefore, he's also going to strengthen the presence of Nigerians in diaspora wherever they are. So Peter Obi's foreign policy is clear. It's about economy, negotiation based on equal partners. He's a win-win negotiator, and he's a businessman, a prudent one, a trusted one, the one that Nigeria needs at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obeta. We'll move on to Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, we also understand that Mr. Omoleye Sowore has been a diasporan based in the US before. Please, can you tell us what you believe are his foreign policy plans which we can expect from his candidacy, presidential candidacy?
Yes, you see, actually being a diaspora does not really necessitate, or it's not a yardstick to any candidate having involved foreign policy. But you see, one thing stands out, that even the cries of the Western countries, who are our major allies, who actually are our major partners. I mean, from time to time, I've been yearning that is, Nigeria needs a shift in paradigm, a shift in leadership. And this, as Mr. Albert made mention of, that one of those things that has over time dwindling the relationship we have with international countries in terms of foreign policies, manifestation of foreign policy, is because of the corruption in the system. And so, even for the fact that a fresh blood, like Commonwealth will be injected into the system, is going to boost the confidence that some of these countries, we have it in the UK the House of Commons, being discussed over time, that there's a need for the young youths to rally around and change and have a change in the paradigm of leadership. So this alone means that is the outcry of some of the so-called foreign partners that we have. And without doing this, we can continue to make these rhetorics on and off. But I believe that some of the plans that will really help our foreign policy, it's not just going to come from the analysis given by any individual is going to do this, going to do that. But of course, the interest of these so-called countries that have seen that Nigerians have wasted so many years, even some of the foreign policies are on a 50-50 gain, 50-50 gain level. So what I'm saying in essence is that our election already is as an image of what the international countries are yearning for them to secure or to have more strong foreign interaction, foreign connection with Nigeria. I'll drop
okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Matthew. And lastly on that line, lastly but not the least, Mr. Raf. We also understand that Atiku Abubakar, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has experience being a diasporan based in Dubai before. You also mentioned it in your earlier speech. Please, can you tell us what you believe are his foreign policy plans, which we can expect from his presidential candidacy?
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very good question. Just recently, I think 19 European ambassadors visited Atiku, and the discussion was on this issue, okay, foreign policies. So Atiku said that he is going to restore Nigeria's leadership in regional security and development. Why I have always said this is because when you bring somebody who has worked before and say this is what he has done when he was a vice president and he wants to do it again, it is much more convincing than when you tell me that a new hand or somebody who had never, who only know how to tax people will come and start bringing in development. It's not the same thing. So this Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has experience in these things. He even mentioned that in the last 7 years that some policies like the locking of borders and all that has affected Nigeria so bad, and it has affected the economy. So when he comes in, I am very sure that he's going to find technocrats, Nigerians around the globe that will assist in making sure that we have bilateral relationships that are going to benefit Nigeria in every way possible. That, I mean, recently, do you notice that these policies that this new government, this particular government are bringing is like seizing the foreign currencies for themselves and for their grandchildren, and the people that are doing business don't even have access to funds that they can use to do transaction. And you know very well that Nigeria is an importing economy, okay? And that is why the foreign exchange has been skyrocketing like for 7 years consecutively. So Atiku Abubakar is going to bring a change to this so that people will have access to funds and people will be able to do business, the economy will grow and people will grow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ralph. And I want to remind viewers that are joining us, this is Nigerians Diaspora Organization China town hall meeting, and this is our first in the series of town hall meetings that will be organizing before the 2023 elections. And you can follow us on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and also on our Instagram page by clicking on NIDO China, and you find us. And also this program is streaming live on these pages. Thank you. And we're going to, after this debate, we're going to have a panel discussion, or we have leaders in various sectors in China community that will be coming to also discuss on potentials of diasporans in China here. So the last session before of this debate is I'm going to allow the debaters here to share comments about the candidates. We have shared what the points that we want to get from the candidates, but perhaps they have some other strong points that we want to leave with our leave in our memory about the thoughts of these candidates with the viewers. So in that line, I want to start with Mr. Idowu. Your last comments. You're on mute, Mr. Idowu.
Ashwaju Bola Ahmed, according to his vision for Nigeria, he is looking at a vibrant and thriving democracy and a prosperous nation with a vast growing industrial base, capable of producing the most basic needs of our people and exporting to other countries of the world. Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will take bold decisions. We take bold decisions that will transform our country to a more prosperous country. Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming. The city boy is coming. Nigerians prepare for the Tinubu-Shettima administration from 2023. Tinubu is a national project. He is the choice of the majority. Tinubu is the man we need now as a pathfinder and torchbearer to lead Nigeria to a new height. Tinubu is Nigeria. Hello?
Yes, we're with you. I'm with you.
Tinubu is that visionary, that passionate for a Nigeria that is working. Passionate for a Nigeria with an adequate accountant and treasurer who will not take off his eyes off our currency management by ensuring a stable and stronger currency. Tinubu, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed is a special gift to Nigeria, and we must appreciate this. He is the best among the available. And I'm appealing to Nigerians across board, from the north to the south, to the east, and the south, the southwest, and the north central. They should cast their vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Idowu, for those last comments. Mr. Matthew, your last comments of your candidates of the AAC.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you for the privilege you have paid us to speak in this forum. So I would say that, lastly, you see, we've been on this course for years, for decades, and that is, when you when you sample the opinion of a common Nigerian, what is your vision for 2020? They will say, I want to japa. That is an indication of a failed system. We have a home that we cannot go. A whole lot of Nigerian people in China, once they are done with their program, they still want to do 20 language programs. And the foundation for this has been our choice. And this is why I get extremely angry when I see typical Nigerian youths who have the ability to reason, to think, being alongside with these old guys. The same people who have built a system that only profits them. They built, they collapse our educational system just to, build their own. And, we have our people defending them. How many Nigerians can attend a school built by Atiku or the one built by Obasanjo? Obasanjo took under Nigerians Operation Feed the Nation, took the Nigerian property. And, so we have been around this people for 60 years. It is high time we tell these people, pack and go. It is high time we allow the new sheriff in town and the person of Omoyele Sowore to realize the dynamic history. He has been consistent for 30 years on not stopping, fighting injustice, fighting for the common man. There is no Moses we need anywhere to revolutionize this country than a personality like Omoyele Sowore. We have to be done with these rhetorics where people come and explain to us why we should recycle the same thieves again. Nigerians, it is time we wake up, or else we will continue the history of Japa. You Japa to China, your children will Japa to Lebanon, your children will Japa to maybe Afghanistan. It is time we build our home, and it has to be done by somebody, and somebody who has a charisma, who has no alliance with the thief. That's why Sowore can boldly speak against any of them. That is the kind of leader we are. And Nigerians will also, come to this reawakeness that we have to be done with the rhetorics. When somebody come, to analyze how he's going to build the system, how he is going to build it. Why should we trust those people? Okay, because what we need is an individual with the political will. And that political will can never come from them because they build a system that is only except somebody is going to upset that system. And the only person who has no alliance with them is the only one who has the capability to do that. On this, I'm going to end my case, and I want to appreciate the moderator and of course the organizer for Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Matthew. Mr. Raf, your final comments.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll just say what I have been saying before. Atiku is a unifier. This is very important. The situation that Nigeria is in now is terrible. When you go online, you see people hiding under fake accounts and they keep vomiting all sorts of rubbish. Atiku said that it's going to make sure that every part of Nigeria have a sense of belonging. And this is very important for the coexistence of all Nigerians. And this man has been a vice president for 8 years. And when he was a vice president, if you check till now, it was that time that we had the best economic growth. And then he was the economic team leader. So there is nothing else. He has the experience. He's not somebody that just came in from somewhere and is telling you all these people are bad, all these people are good, we want to do. No, he has the experience. He's coming to do it. And he also promised us that he's going to, do devaluation of power, state to local governments, okay? And he's going to work on the security. And he's someone who has experience and who has been in government and he knows what is happening. And he categorically said that the issue of security that we have today is politicized. And he said that we should watch that when election is coming soon, that the security issue will become better so that they will say it's a political achievement. So Atiku is the best we have so far. And I am encouraging anybody who wants to vote him to vote him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Raf. And of course, not the least, I want to call on Mr. Obeta for your final comments. You're on mute, Mr. Obeta.
Sorry, Mr. Moderator. I couldn't help laughing. You know, in this world, one of the easiest things to do is to criticize leadership. So I can understand the energy my colleague brings to the table here when he says that, you know, everything is just rhetoric. He has no room for, you know, antecedents or even the present. And I understand when everybody speaks about the same thing. But let's look at the facts before us. I don't even want to talk about the past anymore, like what Obi did in Anambra State. Let's begin to look at the present. Who among these candidates, who among them was actually rich before he went into government? Who among them was actually a billionaire before they ventured into governance, before they begin to grab money from the system? And again, who among them has no criminal accusation from EFCC or any other one, international, locally and international? You have people who are questionable, whose characters are questionable, people who are being chased around, people who cannot go certain places because of what they have done in the past. And they are here telling you they have become angel. Does leopard change its spots? No, it doesn't. And leopard cannot suddenly become a panda. So now, what I'm saying here is this. When we talk about unifier, I heard my colleague mention unifier. Which other way can you prove who unified people than what you are seeing? In Nigeria today, the campaign has not started, but you have millions of people, almost every state, more than 10 states have shown more than 1 million people campaigning for one man, even when he's not in the state. And who is that person? It's His Excellency Peter Obi. And we talk about prudence, we talk about economy, corruption, we're talking about prudence. Who among all of them, the two of them has at one point been a manager of a place. Who among them did what he did? He left over 500 million in different currencies in the government. He made sure that nobody was owed salary in Anambra State. So what else are we talking about? Then we're talking about visionary leadership. Who among them has ventured into studying why other nations like us are working and we are not working? Who among them has ventured into studying what is holding our power sector? Who among them has ventured into what is happening in our seaports? And this is a man who can sit down and tell you countries are working, countries are not working, and why they are working. This is a man who can give you at the tip of his fingers the solution to certain problems we are going through. What are we talking about? When we talk about the people, the voice of the people, we are talking of a man who has abundance. He can live anywhere. He can work from Dubai, he can work from New York, he can work from anywhere. But he chose to stay with his people in Onitsha, even after being a governor. Before being a governor, he chose to reside with his people, going through what they're going, seeing what they're going through every day. I am giving you a man who will not leave you on the way. I'm giving you a man who has
less than a minute, please.
I'm giving you a man who has presented himself to work with you through the pains, a man who wants to see you smile again, a man who wants to see you respected again as a Nigerian anywhere in the world. I'm giving you a man who wants to restore the dignity of African man, a man who wants to bring back that simplicity of African, a man who wants to remind you that money is not everything, that good name is better than money. That is the man I'm giving you. It is a choice for you to remain where you are or to make a leap to where you're supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obeta. I want to use this opportunity to also thank Mr. Idowu and also thank Mr. Raf and thank Mr. Matthew for doing a great job in this debate tonight. I must say that it has been a very interesting interactions with these debaters today. I must say that remind viewers here that this is passionate. They're just being passionate of what they have presented, and this is not as a result of influence or sponsors from the candidates or from the parties. And I think the points have been said, they've been read, and it's left for us Nigerians to decide. But well, this is what NIDO China have done. We have brought it to your doorsteps. The research of these individuals and the strong points that we are holding for them with them. And I want to use the opportunity to say that we will get out the invitations for these candidates to join us in our subsequent town hall meeting when you've had our views, perhaps you have other views to share, we'll give you that invitation. So China has spoken, and once more, my name is Oche Barnabas. I'm signing off as a moderator, and I'm also going to leave you with this short video of what the views of other Nigerians living in China. Thank you very much.
Mama, Papa, my fellow youths, and all the great tribes of Nigeria, I greet una. My name na Franca. I don dey abroad for over 4 years now. No be say I no wan come back. I wan come back. Abroad no dey easy too. But I miss those days wey be say young girl like me no dey fear to get adopted unwillingly for her own country. I miss those days wey be say I fit go church, you go mosque, we all pray together without a fear say we go die for our own prayer. And you fit think say as I dey abroad, I no dey directly influenced. No. My papa, my mama, my brothers, my sisters, all of them dey Nigeria too. So tell me how I know they directly influenced. Now so you too, they very influenced when you collect those wrapper, when they print temporarily and we go tear once or show the driver push you enter bus. Or that one bag of garri where did they give you to buy your support? Tell me, if farmers know they to plant those garri, people where they give you those garri right now, they go come plant them for you. No, in fact, it go dey noble if they bring those their gifts and we say no to them. This time around, we won't do the right thing. Make we not make the same mistake wey don't bring us to where we dey today for this upcoming election. Make we vote somebody who fit guarantee security for us, because without security we no go get mouth to talk about economic instability. Without security, even if you get that employment, you go nowhere. We need a man who can use diplomacy to rally both national and international allies so that threat is isolated. We need a man who can guarantee us effective armed forces. We need a man who is inert enough to make sure that our civil defense and emergency preparedness measures are very concrete. The 2023 electoral candidates present to you different characteristics, which is very, very obvious to you. It's left for you to choose how you want to spend the next 8 years of your life.
Greetings, my fellow Nigerians. My name is Udoka Ihemagua. I reside here in China. Whether in China, we get to enjoy what we call good security. We get to go out and come back at any time of the day, and nobody harasses us. We don't get shot at or killed. We don't get robbed. We don't get raped. We don't fear for our lives. We don't get kidnapped. Things are all safe. We meet them as we left them. How come? It's all about good leadership. So during this time of election, let's consider who we should elect as the coming president of the country. Let's elect good leaders that can look into security of the country, leaders that will fight insecurity headlong. Leaders that won't consider tribe or ethnicity or religion before bringing in someone to head or the security system of the nation. We look forward to a leader that will equip our security system. We look forward to a leader that will increase the pay of our security officials in Nigeria. We look forward to a leader that will reduce unemployment. If our youths are employed, get to work and get paid as they work, the crime rate will reduce drastically. So this is what we should consider when electing, and this is what we expect of our leaders. Okay, we look forward to credible leaders. And also during this time of election, we plead to our security officials to safeguard the lives of the common man, to safeguard the lives of the voters. Just as democracy is government of the people, by the people and for the people. So should security be. Security of the people, by the people and for the people, not for politicians or the rich, but for the common man. Thank you and God bless you.
Hi, my name is Pascal. I reside in China. This video is to bring to the knowledge of Nigerian public the current and incoming government about the potential of Nigerian citizens in China and their possible impact on Nigerian economy if the chance is given to them. If you look around today, the topic in every tongue is about economy, insecurity, healthcare, poverty, unemployment, and many other things. These are all areas that are supposed to shape our life and make our life better. The better version of these areas speaks of a sustainable, successful economy. A good economy is one in which our life and activities that shape our lives improve daily. China, for example, has successfully imparted its economy with sustainable and steady growth and pulled millions of its people out of poverty. Such is a success, and a success that every nation works looking for. That's the desire of every country, every nation, and I hope this is the type that we're looking for. If our nation truly desires an economy that sustains the day and tomorrow, it should find a way to also embrace its diaspora experts and work with them. There are many Nigerians in China today. Among them are business magnates, students, doctors, and professionals in different industries. Many of them saw the early days and progressive growth of China's economy to where it is today and can confidently convey similar ideas behind the miracles back home if the chance is given. Many would like to bring their resources back home for the same course if the environment is available. Moving our economy from where it is today, we require a collective idea and skills that include its diaspora experts. Those from this part of the world are a great resource since they saw and understand firsthand the transition of China's economy to where it is today. With that knowledge, they can do even far more better. I bet you, and I hope this short video makes meaning in the right ears. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.
Fellow Nigerians, my name is Obeta Innocent, and I am a member of Nigerians in Diaspora China. I'm also a member of ANROC. ANROC means Association of Nigerian Registered Companies in China. I want to use this opportunity, first of all, to congratulate Nigerian youths in their effort so far. And I want to encourage you to keep on fighting and keep on being involved. This is a special moment. We've never had it this bad, but thank God that God has woken the Nigerian youths up to take back their nation. This hour, I am calling upon you, Nigerian youth who has not woken up. It's a time. This is a moment that nobody can afford to stay in the fence. It's a time that all of us have to join hands. Even though those of us in diaspora may not vote directly, but of course we have siblings, we have friends, we have colleagues that we can urge to vote the right person. What we are asking you is to look among all the contestants and vote the person that you know is giving you hope of a better tomorrow. A person that you know that has lived in a way that signifies what he can do in the future. We want to begin to question characters. In the past, we listened to rhetorics, promises, but this time, I want you to be able to look at characters, look at antecedent of every individual that is putting himself forward for that office, and let us choose the next president carefully, looking at their past to make judgment of what they will be in the future. Leopard, they say they never change their threats. So please, vote wisely.
Fellow Nigerians, my name is Oche Barnabas and I am the current president of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization China. On this occasion of the presidential debate of candidates for the 2023 general elections, I wish to state that we, the Nigerians living in China, are very concerned about the outcome of the coming elections. We believe our country, Nigeria, needs leaders with exceptional qualities to lead our nation and to deliver quality national healthcare delivery services, quality educational systems, improve economic standards that will create employment for our youths. We will, the diasporans, make more desired efforts to improve the chances of Nigerians in diaspora to directly participate in diaspora voting. Now, there are unarguably very eminent professionals of various industries that are present in China, and we are open to initiatives from any successful incoming government to join us in developing a think tank Nigerian group in China. We believe this initiative will help and assist our diaspora community to contribute more to the national development strategies and policies. Well, it saddens our minds when we read and receive reports of gross insecurity that is ravaging our country today. Our desire is that every voter should ensure to study the leaders and their planned strategies to stop the insecurity before casting votes on the election. With that being said, I want to welcome all viewers that are joining us today once more to this debate, and I urge you to listen to other members of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization China as they share their views about the upcoming elections. Thank you.
It's 22 hours.
Good evening, everybody. I hope we are all still here. Those in Nigeria, good day. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be the host of this discussion. We are going to have a very important discussion, an issue that concerns all of us as Nigerians. We want to talk about the potentials of Nigerians living in the diaspora. And it's going to focus on national development. We all know that Nigeria is more like, have a lot of immigrating population. The statistics have it that we have like 17 million Nigerians outside Nigeria in the diaspora. And like 17 million is more like 8% of us. So we want to talk about it today. And today we have been able to invite reputable Nigerians in China to join us in this discussion. And I am going to go straight and introduce them. And please, when I mention your name, you can put on your speaker and say hi to the house, okay? So today with us, we have the former Vice President of NIDO China and the former President of NIDO East China in the person of Dr. Elijah Odi. He is currently the President of Organization of African Academic Doctors in China. Dr. Elijah, are you present here?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Raf. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, sir. And we also have the person of the current president of NIDO China and the coordinator of NIDO North China, the person of Dr. Barnabas Oche. Dr. Oche, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ralph. Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon, Nigerians.
Okay. At the same time, we also have the Vice President one of NIDO China, and also the coordinator of NIDO East China, the person of Mr. Oboze G.O. Oboze, you're welcome to the house.
You're on mute, Oboze. You're on mute.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to Nigerians.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome. The other person we have in the house is the Vice President 2 of NIDO China, and also the current coordinator of NIDO South China, the person of Mr. Obeta. Mr. Obeta, can you say hi to the house?
Good evening, fellow Nigerians, and thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, sir. And the last but not the least is the president of ANSIC. ANSIC is the Association of Nigerian Students in China. And I'm talking of the person of Dr. Lawandi Ibrahim Dati. Dr. Lawandi, say hi to the house. Is Dr. Lawandi with us here? Okay, we have to move on. Look, Dr. Lawandi, whenever you're around, please call my attention, okay? So we go straight into the discussion because we would want to save time. We have invited some of our leaders, and we want them to take us into this conversation because it's a very important conversation. We understand that the diaspora, Nigerian diaspora in China is not as sophisticated or as old as what we have in Europe, in places like in England or in America. We could say that we still have a baby diaspora here, even though we are growing just like China is growing. And I want us to look into it and see the potentials that we have in general, in the whole world in general, and then coming to China, specifically to China. So I'm going to go to our former vice president. I am going to start with you, sir. I would want you to give us a kind of enlightenment of what you think of the performance of Nigerians in the diaspora.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raf, and good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen on the call, and good afternoon to colleagues back in Nigeria. Yes, the performance of Nigerians in diaspora, I would want to say something about that, looking at maybe 3 basic indicators to make it very clear and just very speedy. You could look at the attention we pay to our families and things like investment in social capital of each individual. So Nigerians in diaspora have been paying a lot of attention to family in terms of foreign direct investment. In terms of remittances, diaspora remittances, which have outweighed foreign direct investment over the past quarter, and of course said to be growing at 7.1%. This is really a beautiful thing because of the difficulties being experienced back home. So Nigerians in diaspora are doing really well in that we are not just out there thinking about ourselves, but we're paying attention to helping the home front function well. And we also want to look at the economic investment. A lot of us are investing. In fact, just recently, I've met quite a number of us who are making a lot of investment in agriculture. Met a lot of persons who've bought property recently, somehow possibly connected to the nature of the exchange rate at this time. And of course, previously as well, a lot of people have been seen doing that. And I also want to talk about the third indicator, which is investment in self. in ourselves, investment in ourselves and education. Our people are doing a lot of great things in terms of investing in ourselves, and you find a lot of them in research and those in trade and other areas. They are doing really well generally, whether it's here in China or other countries where I've been opportune to be linked to a lot of us in almost 50 countries. And that's, I can tell with some level of certainty that Nigerians in diaspora are doing well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. That was quite explicit. He talked about the remittance, the investment, education, research, trade, etc. Like, he's very affirmative that Nigerians are doing well in the diaspora. Thank you very much, sir. So because I wouldn't want us to waste a lot of time, I would want to go to the president of NIDO China. I want to ask, if you agree with what Dr. Elijah just said now, why would you think they have this performance? Why do you think that Nigerians are doing well? If you agree, if you don't agree, you can tell us why.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ralph, and good evening once more, NIDO China members and those viewing us from Nigeria. Good afternoon. I just want to really accept. I agree with what the first speaker has said, Dr. Elijah has said about the performance of Nigerians in diaspora. Well, I want to say, first of all, that Nigerians are generally fantastic people, and Nigerians are generally hardworking persons. And I also believe that Nigerians, if exposed with the right tools, the right resources, at any point, whether they're in Nigeria or they are outside Nigeria, they have the potentials to perform. But we have seen over the years, and it's very sad that it appears to be growing even worse, because as the years go by, that the Nigerians back home have limited access to certain technology, maybe due to the resources that is around them, the resources of power, resources of equipment. I'm speaking from the point of view of a researcher. Now, if you travel overseas diaspora, like we are in China here, you have easier access to, if you go to UK or the US, you have easier access to these simple technologies like research tools and those kind of resources that will boost your potential in developing the drive in the area of science and technology. And well, I have seen Nigerians come out here and they use these tools that is available to them to break even, to break the world, and you see them coming out with awards. Okay, they are not like they are special when they come out to come overseas here, but they just have access to these tools, and that is why I am really concerned about when I hear about educational sector. I hear lecturers downing tools at home and all that. We're very sad because the tools they have are not even adequate. We have access to lots of tools outside here, and that one has grown our potentials with of the Nigerians that are outside here doing research and doing studies here. So I agree in that aspect with Dr. Elijah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I also agree. I think I can agree with this, that if we are given the right opportunities and provided with the right assets, that we can always succeed. Thank you very much. I don't know whether Dr. Lawandi is back. I don't know if he's back. If he's back, can he indicate? The president of ANSIC. He was here a while ago. Okay, while we wait for him, we still have to continue. I'm going to go to Mr. Opoze right now. We want to talk about healthcare and education. Healthcare and education is something that any country that wants to make progress, any country that wants to go ahead must get healthcare and education right. Now, Dr. Boze, do you think that Nigerians who are in the diaspora are doing well in these two fields too? Do you think, because I've never heard of a prize winner, a Nigerian that won a prize in medicine. I've seen issues of like people who do surgery. There's a recent one going around of one Okonjo that did one surgery in Nigeria. But do you think that Nigerians in the diaspora are also doing well in healthcare and education field? Dr. Boze?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question. And healthcare is not my specialty, but looking at it holistically, living in the diaspora for so long, if we really look at Nigerians living in various countries, let's go to the US, for example, like what Dr. Oche said, we are actually exposed to different high-tech facilities and infrastructures. Nigerians are equally exposed to efficient systems of running the healthcare system. Or if you go to the UK practices a more like socialist approach to their running of healthcare. If you go to the US, the approach is more capitalistic in nature. And despite these facts, if you look at the one in Europe, Nigerians in Europe and in UK, you will find that Nigerians have been gaining gainful employment in the medical sectors. While if you go to the US, you will actually be able to find that Nigerians have actually they've gravitated from having been employed in hospitals, even in foundations, even in teaching hospitals owned by various universities. They've gone from there to being independent consultants in various medical fields. And many of them have actually been able to team up with various non-profit organizations using various kind of capital structure to actually be able to build certain healthcare facilities in some African countries, though not much in Nigeria due to the various restrictions in terms of the system in Nigeria. But so Nigerians are actually doing very well in the medical field. Now in education, I see Nigerians excelling. In fact, for the past decade, the average degree in Nigerian living in diaspora actually possesses is a master's degree. So we have more Nigerians in the past decade who are educated living in the diaspora unlike 2 decades ago. So on the educational sector, if you look at it in an individualistic approach, you will find that Nigerians are actually doing well. So what do we do now as a diaspora? How can we mobilize all these resources and these assets and be able to harness it and be able to now put it into a collective output and benefit for Nigerians in the diaspora as well as back to our country, Nigeria? I'll stop at that for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a very good answer. Even though you mentioned that this is not your field, but that was a very good answer. So, okay, but I still want to ask you a question. What about trade? What about trade? We are presently in China, and you know, like China, they export all sorts of things to other countries of the world. And do you think that presently, we know that Nigeria is a consuming nation. People have always said it. Do you think that Nigerians in the diaspora are well invested in trade, or they allow other people to import into their country and they buy from those foreigners. Do you think Nigerians are very much into this trade? I'm talking to Dr. Oboze. I've not left you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, if we look at the approach to trade, Nigerian population of over 200 million is actually an asset, which makes it a very big market. Having said that, if you look at the Nigerian sector, you will find that virtually everything is being imported into Nigeria. It doesn't matter. Despite all that, we still have so much natural resources in Nigeria. Despite the fact we are not adding what we call EVA, economic value added, to them, yet these commodities are actually being exported, not even by Nigerians, but by foreigners. And here is the reason we are talking about export from Nigeria now. First of all, we are not even talking about import into Nigeria. First of all, most of these industries or this trade, they are quite capital intensive. Usually, having lived in the diaspora and studying other matured economies or other emerging economies, you will find that usually the government mobilizes certain companies in certain industries. Like in China, you have the SOEs. Many of these SOEs are equally the same in Japan and in the US, that they become what you call, they later now privatize these companies that act because they now have the adequate capital to be able to acquire this kind of capital assets to go into this kind of heavy capital intensive industries. So now if looking at Chinese now, for example, not just the Chinese, you have the Indians as well. When they go to Nigeria, it doesn't matter if you have a Nigerian who is a minor, but he's just an individual. How do you expect him to access capital for him to be able to afford this kind of capital intensive equipment? And our banks equally would not finance this. Okay, now take, for example, let's look at it from the approach of diasporans, like Nigerians living in China. If we look at many of us living in China, we have made money, we've been able to save money. The best we can do is actually acquire assets in Nigeria. And these assets are not actually income generating assets. We build hotels, we build real estate, but looking at the returns of this kind of investment, these investments are not actually very productive. So in my point of view, for the past half a decade now, I feel the approach we should have in the diaspora should actually be about not actually trying to force FDI into Nigeria, but rather where we are, we should try to create capacity and actually make the investment where we are. Take, for example, I would encourage Nigerians to actually pour investment in China. This investment will actually stimulate demand from Africa or from Nigeria. If you decide you want to go add EVA in Nigeria, there are too many obstacles you have to overcome. You have electricity, you have double taxation, you have too many obstacles. The productivity in Nigeria cannot be compared to the productivity in China. It can take a carpenter 2 days to make one chair. It will take a carpenter in China less than 30 minutes to make a dozen chairs. So it's not about you do not want to develop Nigeria. If we are able to accumulate capital, then we as Nigerians or in the diaspora will be able to now pour investment back home in Nigeria. Currently, the only asset we have is we are a labor-intensive, we are labor-intensive rich in Nigeria. The cost of capital abroad is cheaper than the cost of capital back home, but the cost of labor in the diaspora is more expensive. So our only comparative advantage is actually the cheap labor. So since we have all the advantages as a diaspora here, I will encourage Nigerians, everybody's trying to save their money and send back home. At the same time, you now move the real asset, which is yourself again, back to an insecure place. We all cannot be in Nigeria. So I encourage diasporas, if we really want to boost import from Nigeria, it is Nigerians who will actually be the one to actually necessitate these imports from Nigeria. We do the processing here, and then we are able to compete on the international stage where you want to export to the US, to Japan, to other international community. Why should we attain international education standard, but we do not want to stand and compete with other international countries? Must we go back home before we are able to compete? We know opportunities are in Nigeria because everything is underdeveloped, but we do not have the right infrastructure and the right amenities yet. So why allow that to delay us? So if we, like in China here, we can actually be able to harness diaspora network in the US, in the UK, we can harness this and be able to attract investments in China here. I think I remember, as Dr. Odili can rightly confirm, there was a Nigerian who came to invest in the pharmaceutical production plants in Jiangsu province. He is based in Canada. He equally has network of investors in Nigeria. So this is the kind of approach we want, whereby generic medicines are actually produced, sent to Nigeria. At the same time, the other capacities is used to produce and sent to other European countries. So with time, that is a huge source of forex that can actually be remitted back to Nigeria. So I will stop for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that explanation. He is talking about Nigerians getting investment in China and thereby having the need to import from Nigeria. It's a very good idea, but then we need to sit down and discuss it further. I think we should have opportunity to talk about these things. It is very important. I'm going to go to Mr. Obeta. I want to ask you about specifically for Nigerians in China. What do you think that Nigerians in China are doing very well in? And how do you think we can use that to contribute to national development?
Thank you, Mr. Ralph, for inviting me. For the question, yes, I will attend to that, but I feel compelled to touch a bit on what my colleague just said about his view on where the diasporans should be investing. Well, I believe that the objective of this discussion is about our nation building. And I believe that I can't encourage myself, neither do I encourage somebody else, to just because we are seeking comfort zone, to dwell on building other people while just impoverishing our place. Because what is actually suggesting is that we sit down here, make the investment, and buy raw materials from Nigeria and use them here to make money in a very simple terms. So, in my view, looking at that and combining with the question you have just put forward, Nigerians here in education, they have excelled. In trade, which you have actually mentioned in the past, I can tell you they are doing very, very well. But one thing is that because of lack of interest in our system, I mean back home, lack of interest in statistics, I can tell you that Nigerian government probably do not know up to 40% of the kind of businesses that come from Nigerians in diaspora here in China. They are not aware of it. It's not because the people don't want to do the right thing by exposing what they do, but sometimes it seems like they are not just interested in it. I'll give you an example, how much Nigerians are doing here. I live in Guangzhou here. I have a company in Guangzhou here. I'm a member of Association of Nigerian Business Owners here. It's actually Association of Nigerian Registered Companies and Offices. So this association has lasted for about 15 to 20 years. I joined them around 2010. And these are people by now, average stay in China is about 15 years. And these are people now, they've grown here to a place where they can't grow, almost they can't grow anymore. I want to draw the attention of my colleagues to the point that in every nation, or in most nations, except places like West, here we are, there's almost like a cap to where you can grow as a foreigner, because there are certain businesses you cannot venture into. So secondly, I don't see a reason why I can sit down to begin to get raw material from Nigeria to produce things here to also export it back to Nigeria. So my interest, or what I would encourage Nigerians here in China, is to be able to either put funds together. We are known for pulling funds together, go back home, invest as small as possible. And let me make it clear here. What develops nations are not those mega companies, are not multinational companies. They are profit-oriented, and they care for their boards more than what's the effect of it in general. What develops nation is SMEs. So it does not matter. What matters is, are we putting something on ground? If we can develop, if we can make a project that we develop 1,000 small-scale industry in across Nigeria, across local government or states in Nigeria, I think it's going to change a lot of things. And back to what you said, what we have done here, I can tell you that in services, for one, because of the amount of Nigerians in southern China here, especially in Guangzhou, who are engaged in trade, Nigerians over the years, in the past 15 years, have been able to develop a lot of businesses. Some of them have been taken over by Chinese because of some of the bottlenecks that I was talking about. Like the air cargo services, the shipment services, I can tell you that something like 10 years ago, there are so many services that are going on here. A lot of people are making a lot of money that Chinese do not have any idea about. Most of the companies you see today were actually grown by Nigerian businesses. I remember when we used to get a sample of products like clothes or shoes, you bring it to China and you give it to a factory who does not know how to do it. We teach them. They do the first one, you correct them, you give it the second time. So we have done a lot of things, and any honest person in Guangzhou, for instance, will tell you that Nigerians have been very instrumental in developing the people here. But because our system do not recognize effort. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you round up in 30 seconds, sorry.
Okay, good. So because our biggest challenge is that our people are not looking this way. Our governments are not looking this way. The essence of this meeting today, I believe, is to create awareness, to let our people know that we have professionals who are contributing immensely here, and to begin to find a way to make them, to bring down what they have to help the Nigerian nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a good one. I'm going to go to Dr. Elijah right now. I would want to know, like, Dr. Elijah, what do you think, or how do you think Nigerian government can leverage on the presence of these Nigerian professionals in China, like for national development? What do you think the government should do in order to, tap into these professionals in China to achieve national development?
Yes, thank you very much, Ralph. Once again, very beautiful question. And my response to that would be that the government should initiate sincere engagement with the people here in their various fields and paying attention to what they could do to facilitate the progress of those individuals, because we understand clearly that our people who have come out here are very busy people and are very committed people. I always share with friends when I talk about things of this nature, because these are things we discuss often. I always say that any Nigerian who has been able to go through the hassles of getting a visa to travel out of the country, that person is a hardworking person, is a serious person, and they know what they suffered to do that. So when they come out here, they are engaged in some beautiful stuff, which if taken back home, if they are well engaged and they take it back home, it will be of great benefit for the development of the country. And indeed, these professionals here are hungry and are desirous to see what they can do with what they know, the competencies they've developed over time, the observations they've made about how things work and how people engage with development. If they have the opportunity, they have a good channel of plowing those things into the system back home, they'll be very excited, they'll be very grateful to engage in that. So for the government to be able to get this, because many of these developmental processes do begin at the point of research. So I would propose that coming from the dimension of research, there should be a lot of inter-university collaboration or inter-university engagement between Nigerian universities so that it can be structured. If there's a good structure around it, it will be easy to implement in terms of technology transfer, in terms of manpower or sharing of experience. So based on inter-university transfer or inter-university collaboration, they are able to work on that platform where researchers back in Nigeria are able to engage with direct researchers here. And many of these researchers, their mode of operation is that they are engaged with companies. In 2019, May, I had arranged the visit of 5 vice chancellors from Nigerian universities, including the University of Nigeria, University of Abuja, University of Ibadan, that's UI, the UNIBEN, and Modibo Adama University of Technology. The vice chancellors were here with us, and I took them to 5 universities here in China. And these were the things we were dealing with, including Tongji University, Fudan University, Nanjing Agricultural University, Jiangsu University. Of course, through that, they've been able to start off a lot of collaborations, granting scholarships to our people back home to come here, study, and be able to go back on those memoranda of understanding signed. So there is a platform for from the direction of education or research-oriented component. But now looking at the other aspect in terms of real technology, which of course is built on research, which will drive the nation forward in many different ways, there should be a frame, a well-designated frame. And it could be a good point of entrepreneurial endeavor for some persons who are entrepreneurially minded. You could actually develop a business model or a component that could help, so that, because each of these things require time, they are not things that are easily done just on the platform of social engagement. It's important for people to be engaged and look at it as, this is what I do for a living. And when they do that, they are going to put attention in it, and they will go scouting and identifying what really needed to be identified. Because indeed, for here where we are and many other countries around, beautiful things are happening, and they are very easy to replicate if the government engages with the people who have experienced this and are able to bring those things back home. Yes, that would be my input for that point.
Thank you very much, sir. That's a wonderful input, actually. So I will go to Dr. Oche. Mr. Obeta has talked about the skills that Nigerians here have, their professionalism, and Dr. Elijah has also talked about the sincere engagement from the government, and he also mentioned some of the things he did, like inter-university corporations that he helped to establish, and some other things he mentioned. Now, we don't have these government people rushing to us, trying to get us engaged in these things, okay? We seem to be the ones reaching out to them, telling them that this is possible, just like Dr. Elijah just said. Now, I want to ask you, Dr. Barnabas, what do you think, or how do you think what steps can we employ so that we have inputs, so that these things that we are talking about will get into national discussions? Like, how do we go about letting the government know that these things are necessary, that people in China need this to start engaging the government?
Well, thank you, Ralph, for that question. And before I dive into that question, I want to also make some contributions to what Obeta and Elijah shared earlier. But before that, I just want to let Nigerians know that, well, for my engagement, for my over 10 years of engagement in residing in China, I've come to understand that the Nigerians in China diaspora is a little bit different the situation is a little bit different from what we have of Nigerians in diaspora in the US or the UK and other maybe Western countries. The point that I'm trying to make here is that every Nigerian that you see here that is developing or expert or professional here migrated to China. Okay, you might go to the US and you find somebody that was born a citizen there, and he grew up and he's grown old and he identified to be a Nigerian. Okay, now maybe he got there when he was 5 years old and now he's grown up and he identified to be a Nigerian. You could draw him to be a professional as well. It's quite different from what we have here. What we have here are Nigerians that have migrated to China for sometimes it's not necessarily greener pastures. I'll just talk for myself. I had started my research, natural research, from Nigeria. I worked with a government agency, and I had also done various researches with universities. We've had collaborations with UNESCO for various forms of research. With my drive for more research, I arrived here in China to have my PhD program. And I must tell you that I was exposed to serious high technologies that I know how difficult it is to access such technologies when back home in Nigeria. And that is what kept me here in China. I've worked with about 2 universities right now, and I'm also, of course, diving into business of research and development consultancy. But the main thing I've seen is that there's something different that I found out here, and that's what has kept me here. Now, I'm speaking for myself. There are all of us here, and many other people that are viewing here, are either here for trade, or you're here for one technology and transfer, or you're here for one training, or you're here for education. And somehow we found a space which is more comfortable for us here. Now, coming down to this question now of going back to Nigeria. Now, the situation is different now. For any one of us that wants to go back to Nigeria, it has to be that we are going back to improve what we have left behind. I don't think anybody wants to go back to say, well, let me go and see what is happening because we migrated to this place. Now, answering your question about the steps that the government should do to engage us here. Well, first of all, I'm happy we have NIDO China, which is Nigerians in Diaspora Organization here in China. We have many other organizations here. And like NIDO, we have, it's a group of professionals, okay? Professionals of various fields. And one of the things that we are trying to do here is to build a think tank, okay? Build a think tank that will think of the best ways of harnessing our ideas of the various industries that we can contribute to our nation in Nigeria here. I'm happy that the missions here, the embassy and the consulates are also listening to us, but I think we need more listening ears from the government. There should be an intentional approach to Nigerians in China here.
Let me interrupt you, sir. Let me interrupt you a little bit, sir. I want to know the steps that we should take to get their attention so that this becomes a national discussion, so that this becomes something that the government will deliberately want to do. Because right now, nobody is talking about it. So the steps that we ourselves should take so that they will start talking about these things, so that they will start making this a project.
Yeah, well, the step is what I am discussing with you right here now. In 2018, I gathered some group of researchers here in Tianjin, and we're trying to come together to build projects, to engage with the technology that we understand, that we've learned, to see how we can develop projects and find ways of taking these projects to implement them in Nigeria. So now, the steps that we are doing here is coming together. And coming together is part of what we're having together as a town hall meeting, talking about it and bringing our own intellects and bringing our own professionals together. I like what Dr. Elijah is doing. The OAD program has brought intellectuals together, and they are thinking, what are we going to do? So this is already the steps that we're doing here. Now, taking it further to the next level is getting the ear of the government. And well, one of the easiest way of getting the ear of the government is what we're doing here, discussing it and airing it live. That is one way. Another way is writing proposals. We have written many proposals. We have engaged with different ministries before, but they've not yielded. So I think what we are left with right now is to engage with the media with what we have. And that is what we're trying to do. That is the little steps that I think is we're doing, and maybe it's not so effective, but that is what the approach that I think we are left with in doing, bringing ourselves together and engaging with the media of what we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. That was a good one. If we write proposals and we try to connect to them and they are not forthcoming, we can go to the media. Actually, it's working this time. We can always find a way to do it. But I think this is an important discussion that we should be having. We should be having this discussion because I know there are lots of Nigeria. You know, the situation in China is not the same with Europe, you know, but we can still be heard if we want to be heard. And I understand that we don't have a lot of people who have their 4 generations here, that it's usually first or second generation. But still, I mean, we are making impact, and this is China. So we should also find a way to be heard. Actually, I was thinking maybe we should write different proposals. We have a lot of professionals here. We find professionals, we write proposals, we deliver it to the government. If they are not listening, we can even take it to the media, just like you suggested. I am going to go to
sorry to interject you, but I think Mr. Albert Hassan is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Albert, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Just for the question that Dr. Barnabas just responded to, I wanted to just, in line with what he said, I wanted to expound it a bit. Sometime last year or 2 years ago, I was opportune to be in Hangzhou with the 54 or so African missions representatives, ambassadors and CGs of various missions. And during the presentation, I couldn't hold it. The kind of presentation that I was, listening to coming out from African representative, I quickly gathered the young Africans, the business guys and professionals around, and we had a meeting. I moved the motion that we need to talk to these guys. We need to talk to our leaders. And what was that I was going to talk to them? There's something missing. it's just like when we discussed about our educational sector. Yes, there are a lot of things that are lacking, especially the high techs and all those things. But one fundamental thing that we lack in our educational system is the link between the studies, the academic studies, and business part of those studies. This link is what is missing in our society. A lot of people, there are people who have double, triple PhDs, but they do not know how to convert that knowledge into economic-driven knowledge. So coming back to what we're talking about, how to get them know, my mission in that was to sit them down and ask them. A couple of ambassadors gave me audience. The ambassador of Guinea, Madagascar, about 7 of them gave me audience. But because of the people that were guiding them, I did everything I could, but I couldn't get all of them to sit down. But I was able to convey my message to them. Now, what I suggest we do was what I was telling them that we should do. I am proud of Nigeria today because when people like me came here 15, 17 years ago, there was no people like you here. People, the kind of professionals we have in China now, they were not there. But now we have these professionals and we have those who have been in business as well for years, like people like Rep Solid. He's been here and he's been in business for a very long time. So what I'm suggesting is, how can we merge the experienced business professionals in different fields with the academicians? How can we bring them together? Just like what Audi is doing in doctors' program they are running. But how can we merge these two people? Because I can tell you, I've been both sides. I've been in the side of the academic and I've been the side of the business in the past 10 years. Now, I can tell you that a lot's going on here that those in academic sector do not know. There are also a lot going on in research side that those in the business world and the trading world does not know. How can we bring these people, form some kind of group, then produce something, if it is a document, if it's a project that we can table to this? And one of the most important things that every day I look for somebody to work with is we need to conduct a research of Nigerian output in China, both academically. We have a lot of professionals. You see the Nigerian in Shenzhen the other day was nominated. He was the only Black man nominated for that award. He's a robotic engineer. So we need to bring ourselves together, the professionals in different fields. No profession is less. So if we can come together, first thing we need to do is to do a research within ourselves. What is our output? If we can produce our output and show it to the government, both Chinese government and Nigerian government, you will see a different result. The problem we have is that every profession are going individual. We're individualistic in our approach, and that will not work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
yes,
you.
Mr.
That was very wonderful. Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Yes,
this seems to be a very important bus stop that we need to do something really, in terms of action. We've been talking about these things. So this seems to be a point that is calling for action, and there seems to be some good synergy and some good vibration in our minds at this time. And I think that's how the feeling happens, and then actions that give birth to things come forth. Yes. So since we have representatives of various entities from the business angle, from the academic angle, those into research and all of that. So we can actually have, some actionable points or actionable steps that could evolve from here. As you all may have been aware, as we've been mentioning, actually we've set up a program or an initiative called Paper to Product Initiative. And we've had about 4 series of engagements in that regard. And in connection with what Mr. Obeta just mentioned, now in terms of documenting the output of Nigerians, about 3 days ago, the person responsible for the education and investment arm at the Nigerian consulate here had reached out to me, and we had quite some conversations, and it's in this regard. So we already seem to have a prototype of strategy Because one thing we've found out over time is that when you send out information to people and say, please bring your information, submit so information, register or do something which is connected to the survey kind of research, most people don't like to pay attention to it. So what we've come up with is that you need to present something that is giving them value. The process of getting the information you need from them should deliver something to them right at the same time. So we've had that discussion here, and the consulate here is, in fact, they have already put plans in place to begin to implement. So if we are thinking alike as we are here now discussing, and this is something that's definitely going to be, in fact, it's in the process of being implemented. We can expand it. You guys over there, you in Guangzhou, Mr. Obeta, can go have a conversation with your with the consulate over there. You Bans, have a conversation with the embassy over there, and say this is the idea that is being presented, and this is the end point. Because we have engaged with thousands of our people here, and we know what's important to them. So if you design something that is important to them, they will give you what you need willingly, because you are giving them something, not money, but something that's important to them. Yes, so we've put those things in place, and we can expand it, and it will yield results. And of course, we can also easily harness the resources we have at the Organization of African Academic Doctors. We can harness the resources very easily and put it together and create something very much bigger. And we have actually attracted some grants already at the Organization of African Academic Doctors because of some of the research we did related to waste management. The Lagos State Ministry of Environment has already, the Commission of Environment already has granted some grants to some of our members related to plastic waste research, which we did a very huge review that covered the whole of Africa. And in fact, it has also attracted the attention of the United States Environmental Protection Agency. They spotlighted it in one of their publications just recently. So this is in terms of actionable plans. Do something that is going to be delivering value to those who are involved. They are seeing it's contributing something to their development right on ground. And it's not like telling them kind of stories. They are seeing that they are getting benefits from it. That's what's going to make them create time for it. But if it's some kind of rhetoric and just talks around it and expression of desires, we will finish all the talk and there'll be nothing much that comes out. So my proposal is, let's expand what's already on ground and then get firing on.
I'm going to come back to you on this. I'm going to come back to you so that I would want you to give specific examples of what are the things that some of these professionals will need. Specific examples. I would want you to be specific. Okay. Yes, on what they will need. But before that, before you go on, I want you to take time to think about it. Let me go to Mr. Oze. I'm going to ask you, what are the things you think we should do first before, the steps we can take to identify key foreign-based professionals? Okay, I want you to answer me this. Key foreign-based professionals, not just in China, in all parts of the world, to form the think tank that we are talking about. What are the steps that we can take to identify these people? Because some people tell you they are professionals, but they are not. And they make a lot of noise and still nothing happens. How do we go about identifying Nigerians who are abroad, that are professionals and technical scholars that can help and can participate as think tank?
You are muted,
I'm muted. Thank you very much for that question. Approaching this question, in my point of view, I think first of all, we have to actually, is the noise coming from my place?
No,
okay, all right, okay. We have to approach this on an intercontinental point of view, looking at Europe, looking at North America, looking at Oceania, Southern America. We have to be able to see how we can, like diasporans in Asia will come as one Asia. We have to be able to see how, let's agree on one point. Nigerians in diaspora, there are some Nigerians that may never be able to see Nigeria for the rest of their lives. Having said that, that doesn't mean at heart they will no longer be Nigerians. So now, just because they are not living in Nigeria, they are living in the US, they are living in Canada, they are living in Europe, it doesn't make them any less Nigerian. At heart, they will always like to see Nigeria as a people developed. It doesn't have to be a physical location before you can actually say you are a Nigerian. So first of all, using practical approach, we have to have what we call inter-Nigerian diaspora dialogue, excluding what you call it, NIDCOM. This is just between the diasporans. There are uses and great benefits the diaspora in Asia will be to the diaspora in Europe or in North America. So there are professionals, there are outstanding individuals that have actually made their marks in these countries. And been in these countries, they also have a limit to how far they can go based on the fact they are who they are, Nigerians, Blacks, immigrants. So for them to be able to go above that pinnacle, they must be able to work with other diasporans who are in all parts of the world. So first and first, we need to establish this inter-diasporan dialogue. Okay, from there, through this diaspora, say in North America, we will be able to identify we will now be able to pinpoint based on skill sets of individuals. If we're talking about doctors, if we're talking about researchers, if we're talking about people in finance, if we're talking about people in businesses, if we're talking of people looking to expand their reach to other continents. So each time when we're looking at Nigeria, like what I was saying initially, everything we want to do for the development of Nigeria doesn't mean we have to go do it back home. Take, for example, what if it turns out like some people are saying, if Peter Obi loses, they will never go back to Nigeria. Fine, if you're not going back to Nigeria.
23 hours.
So living abroad, how can we actually harness the advantages of being in Nigeria, having Nigeria scattered all over the world? So this is the way we can actually, those in America, when we start having this kind of inter-diaspora dialogue, those Nigerians in North America, you will find them, they will be source of capital for Nigerians who are living in Asia, who are in China here, where labor is still cheap. They will be net importers now from China using Nigerians who are here. So we are actually increasing our value. At the same time, it's still going to affect our gross national product or our GDP back home. We are accumulating assets. Okay. Yeah, so let me quickly come in terms of how can we be able to actually let the government to actually take notice of Nigerians. You see, we know so many things already. No need complaining about them. We know how our government is. We should stop wishing, oh, we wish Nigerian government is this or like this or they'll do this. No Nigerian civil servant or government official will come to you. To many of our scholars with the kind of facilities they are exposed to here, with the degrees you have accumulated, sorry to say, when you go back home, you don't even have this kind of facility. You only become an admin person again. You never have the opportunity to do any research again. So what I'm saying is this, now these scholars or researchers in China here, we need, if we want to actually raise this awareness towards what we are doing, we need to be able to, we live in China, we've experienced the system. Now the technocrats who are back home in Nigeria, we know them back home, we know us here. So now looking at things in a perspective where it can actually give the government back home an interest, and at the same time still give any private participating sector something to look into, at the same time put in the Chinese interest here. Take for example now, we did what we call Medical Expo. We came up with this program. There's this other organization called Doctors Insight, where they have it's a what you call it, an association of African doctors. And looking at this, Nigeria currently, they are trying to improve the health sector. How can we improve our health sector? Even all the banks are bringing out capital, bringing out money, but nobody knows what to do. So what we decided, we approached MAFCOM, the Chinese government, Ministry of Commerce. We approached them. We now approach the Nigerian Ministry of Health. At the same time, we now approach private medical equipment manufacturers in China. So we now put, and then at the same time, you now have other non-profit medical institutions putting all these together. Then you are inviting the government officials to come participate. Having this kind of event, the media is equally attracted to this kind of events. And we're still going to have this event come end of this year. The media is now attracted to this kind of event. If you go to any ministries in China, any ministry in China, one thing you do not know, if you call, China is very global. If you call, you will find out there's always a department in charge of Africa. So when you call, nobody is shocked like, oh, what are you looking for? You don't know anybody. You just call any ministry. It doesn't matter if it's environment, it doesn't matter if it's space, it doesn't matter if it's Internet of Things, whatever. You will have what you call an African department and boils down to your country.
Okay.
So,
can you run up in 30 seconds?
Okay. Oh, very well. So my point of view, even with researchers who are in China here, many of them are on grants. If they can actually create time where they can still lend their skill sets and lend their acumen to researchers that actually benefits Nigeria as a country, it will be very nice. And then this can be transferred in terms of what you call it, in terms of great potential to Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go back to Dr. D. But before then, I want to recognize the presence of Barrister Justina. Barrister Justina was supposed to be with us today, but because of her tight schedule, she was not able to make it. But when she came back, she still was able to log online and see what we are doing. Barrister Justina, you're welcome. When you are available to have an input, please let me know. Thank you very much. I'm going to go back to Dr. Elijah. Dr. Elijah, I want you to be specific because I am interested in, because I am also one of the people who believe that people don't just give away what they have without giving them something in return. So I want to ask, is it possible that you give us specific examples on how we try to know what people want, solve their problems, and then have them give us what they have?
Okay, yes, very straightforwardly. we have categories or different categories of people or Nigerians living here. And each person who has come out, as we've said previously, they've come with some specific focus. A huge percentage of us are researchers, master degree students, PhD students, postdoctoral researchers, and then a few are professors in universities around here. And then some, quite a good number, especially in southern part of China, are business people. And over here in East China, we also have some other professionals in corporate world. But the interesting thing is that most of us are not known. The majority of those who should actually be involved in many of the conversations we are making, who also have some other relevant networks within their space in terms of the capacity they've built over time. A huge percentage of them who live in China are not known by us. I got to know this when I started the process of reaching out to certain people, to find some persons who will be able to participate in some of the global engagement we had with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, which we did yesterday and today still continues. So I got to find that we have a huge number of these people. Now, what do they want? What would they want? That's the question that's on ground. For those that are PhD students or master degree students, there are fewer people in the undergraduate studies here. We have fewer than compared to the other higher postgraduate. What they would need are things that contribute to their graduation requirements. What do they need to graduate? Because it's very straightforward. Most of the universities need them to publish papers before they can graduate, like for the masters and for the PhD. And also many of them are desirous to see how they can prepare themselves for the next phase of their lives after they are done with their research here and all of that. And of course, a huge percentage of them are desirous to think of possibly migrating to some other country, at least for now, when many of the things set back home don't seem to be appealing. Many of them are thinking in that line. And so if you can provide them some linkage, some platform of where there is straightforward engagement in terms of where there are mutual benefits, you do something and you get something that's commensurate to what you've done. And there are no cheating arrangements in between. It's very transparent, it's very straightforward, and everybody can see it. And nobody is seeming to be placed against another or above another. Everybody is at equal level playing ground. Everything is open and straightforward. The input you're seeing, you can see the output right immediately. So if we can provide them such things, because I want to look at it first from the angle of we as Nigerians, not necessarily looking at government first. So looking at us first as individuals and the participants in the arrangement, we can create things for ourselves that we need amongst ourselves. If you do that, people are going to be committed. People are going to be participating. They'll be willing to give their time. Particularly, we don't need money from them. What we need is their time, their intellect, their abilities, the competencies they've developed over time. If they can bring it together, they will find it easy to also provide their, whether it's data or whatever. Because when you do such things, you must use your real data. And you are not afraid as compared to when someone just comes from the blues and says, the embassy has sent us to collect information from you. The consulate has sent us to ask you for social information. Many people don't care about that. And we cannot tell that from experience over the years. People don't care about that. They say that they don't care about whether embassy doesn't know they are here, consulate doesn't know they are here. That's their mentality. But of course, in many occasions, when they have problems, they remember that they need to go to the consulate or they need to go to the embassy. So that's for these education people. then from the angle of the government, if the government can have that platform provide a good engagement point, and they will certify them, whatever input they make, they provide certificate for them and say, yes, we have done this, okay, so you've done this and we recognize it. Many people, that will be something that's interesting to them because it adds something to their CVs. And you know how young people are so passionate and interested about what goes on the CV, because that becomes like kind of a meal ticket for the next thing they want to pursue, for those who think in that line. Of course, that may not only be valuable for everybody, but I know for a good number of people who are in the education line, these are the things that matter to them. So provide them that, they will stand with you and work with you. Then for the business people or other professionals, they are definitely hungry to see what they can do to contribute to national development. Because no matter how comfortable a person may be anywhere else, especially Africans and Nigerians, we know in many of these places where things seem to be working at a certain stage already, there is very little you can do that would generate so much impact, except you really begin to play at the high level engagement where you're able to bring in something that makes them recognize you. Apart from that, whatever you're going to be doing around here, it could never make the kind of impact that it would make if you do such back home. Yes, so for those people, the government it will be good for the government and government establishments to provide them some form of certification that we recognize what you've done, we appreciate what you've done. The government entities like the embassies and the consulates and whatever parastatals that are responsible for this should show sincere engagement, not political kind of engagement, show sincere engagement based on what's important to the people. Give them something that's important to them, they will work with you. And you know, when of course, already we know that there is an existing database of professionals, Nigerian professionals living around the world. But there, you know, the database is there and it's constantly being updated by NIDCOM and other agencies involved. But the reality on ground is that many of those end up being used just as political instruments or political tools, not for direct or real engagement with the people who are actually hungry to see things happen on the continent. Nigerians will be willing to put even their monies, they'll be willing to send money to get things working if they see that the government has sincere engagement points and not some kind of stories or some things in the, just in the blues, but something that, okay, yeah, this is what, based on your competency. Like in May 2022, we floated what we call precision, competency-based precision citizen participation. We spread it across Africa. Several countries in Africa are beginning to also pay attention to that. In fact, for Liberia, we're working towards developing some project in that regard at the moment. And so people are taking advantage of it. It should be based on competency. It should be precise. And it should be connected to the competency that each individual has. This is what I know how to do. I'm going to do it. Then it should be recognized that I've done it. And based on that recognition, I'm encouraged to do more. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for any special recognition. That's not my focus. But so these people are saying, whatever I do, I want to be able to see, yes, it is contributing to making the quality of lives, enhancing the quality of lives of people in my country. That's a joy that anybody will want to think back and say, yeah, when I was in so place, I was able to do so based on my competency, based on what I could offer. And this is how it changed the lives of people. It should be well streamlined. It should be clear, no ambiguities around it. And you will see it working well. And there's no need for some kind of intermediaries that will need to say, okay, because you are from so place, we won't recognize you. Or because you are from so place, these people are not, just make it plain based on competency. If anybody can get something done, let the person get it done, and we're making progress. So that's in terms of specificity, yeah.
Thank you very much. You have a very important point. We've already exceeded our time by 15 minutes, and I actually wish that we can continue. I'm going to come to you, the President, NIDO President, Dr. Barnabas, I want you to end with this, okay? Because everything that we have said, we need to take action, okay? Because I wouldn't want us to, after talking, and nothing happens again. Actually, the way things happen is you start from having a conversation. From having a conversation, you move to taking action, okay? If you don't have a conversation, you cannot start anything. So what do we do now? What do you think we should do now as us in diaspora? Do you think we should form a team and start working on this project? Or do you think we should come back and have another conversation on this and streamline our actions before we start taking them?
Yes, thank you, Ralph. Thank you for inviting me to share this last comment. Well, we have, in the level of executives, when we started my tenure as NIDO China president, one of the things that we've been discussing is getting the various groups that we have here in China, getting the various groups together to let us speak to ourselves, just like what one of us have said before, that people are doing their own projects individually. There are lots of individual projects, efforts, and Nigerians are championing it around. Okay, but let's come together and speak to ourselves for a purpose of developing ourselves and developing one unit and also taking the unit forward. Okay, and various groups have their own interests. Okay, particular interests, but we need to find ways of synchronizing this interests together. So the action ways of going forward from here, which I'll propose, is that number one, I know it's not easy to merge organizations. It's not easy to bring people together that have different ideologies, but we should not be scared in trying that. So I will propose that after this meeting, we have as much people that are as much leaders of different groups that we can pull together to have a meeting. And we're not going to put them together to say, well, NIDO China is the chief, okay, or NIDO China is in charge, but NIDO China will just be a vehicle to bring us together. Then let's all share what we are doing. First of all, what are you doing? What are you doing? We bring it to, and okay, what do we want to do together? That should be the language. And after that, we'll move forward. What you said, it's actually difficult for us because number one, even for this, and I really appreciate the local organizers of this engagement today, this town hall engagement today, because I know that they've reached out to many other NIDO organizations, both in the US, in Japan, in Malaysia. We've reached out to so many people, but here we are. We're still alone in this meeting today. It's not easy to merge people with different ideologies. So I think we should first start at home here, put ourselves together, meet again, bring the leaders together, and let's talk. Let's talk, see what we are doing, and see how to synchronize our ideas. And the main thing is, as I've said, somebody mentioned earlier that we as diasporans here, especially in this kind of country that we are here, whatever you're doing, whatever success that you have, you just know that there's a limit to your stay. There's a limit to where you can reach in that particular profession or that particular industry that you are. So if we we can bring our ideas together to see how we can jointly take our development to Nigeria, which of course doesn't have any limitation. It can grow, and the sky is the limit. It will be very, very interesting. So I propose that groups should come together and have the leaders of different associations and organizations, Nigerian controlled ones, should come together and still talk after this town hall meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We wouldn't want to make people to stay for too long, and I want to thank everybody that was here. The invitation was at a very short time, and I want to specifically thank Dr. Elijah for making it to this gathering today. We are sorry for giving you a very short notice, and thank you for honoring it. That shows that you are still very much interested in the Nigerian things, and we are very, very happy about that. And we want to also thank the organizers of this event. You guys did a very good job, and we want to thank every other person that participated, and even the people that waited till this time of the day listening. Thank you all very much. And I hope that whatever you are doing, you just try to be the best so that you have something to bring to the table when you are called for. At this juncture, I think this is where we come to the end of the discussion. Thank you to the discussant, Dr. Odi, Dr. Barnabas, Mr. Waze, Mr. Obeta. Thank you all. Thank you, the person at the back of the computer, Mr. Louis, the secret general that's always working, but nobody knows that he's working. And thank you to every other person. I want to also especially thank Mr. Idowu from Nigeria. He has been with us from the start. He participated and he's also still here. Thank you very much. And thank you to every other person around. It's been a wonderful time. May God bless us all. Please, we will close with the national anthem.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ido. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ido. Well done. Thank you so much for staying this long.
Just know, Mr. Ido, we're not going to leave you. We're still going to be together, and we'll have meetings.
We'll always call you.
Yeah.
Do well.
Hey, Sam. Well done. Secret General, put your face.
Hey, Louis, come on. May they see you.
Thank you, Ray Solid, for your time too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well done.
And Faith, thank you for staying with us this late.
Great job, guys.
This Powerhouse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ralph.
It's Powerhouse.
Have you done the strong obedient? Please come out. Let's see you. And Emmanuel, please come out too. Emmanuel G. I saw you firing.
I couldn't even read all the things. I have all the messages.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I couldn't take my eyes. Even when I was talking, Emmanuel, oh my God, you need to see what you were writing.
Some of them just they bully me anyhow.
They bully you.
Because I support candidate to imagine.
I thought I didn't want to get distracted with what they were writing, so I just leave them.
No, I don't think about so many things when they write. Oh my God.
Mr. Idowu, please, I want to ask you a question.
were you actually sent by Pat's team?